sake. I thought we were past it.
Yeah. So it says we're on. I'm just checking. Yep.
Yeah. Right, Carl, hello.
Yeah,
Oh,
Double honors to the apostles and holy with the millstone. The honors you on the highways and the byways, teaching sincerity truth. You know, we're the Hebrew Israelites, man, and we preach the gospel, the good news, right? Which is only for the Israelites, beginning with the elect, point back period. That's what the good news is for. That's who the gospel is for. In the prophecies, you go into the New Testament, it's all the same. So don't listen to these goofy dudes that's trying to now bring in the Catholicism and universalism into this thing and trying to hand out secondary VIP tickets and them scammers, blood. You know, it's a scam thing. You know, handing out, you know, the silver package, blood. There ain't no silver package. Blood. There's only the platinum package, and it's for the elect of Israel.
Can I get?
Yeah, let's just get a black bar still.
I got two, right? So the first one was from Baruch. Let's start from verse 3, right? Give not thine honor to another. Right, this is what we're being told. Give not our honor to another, because the Most High chosen us as his people, right? We're not here trying to hand out official VIP tickets to heathens. We're trying to be.
That's just something about secondary New Testament benefits. What? You know, like Prime Life, like, you know, Netflix Live, blood. Standard with ads, blood. You know them way there, blood. What's this man talking about?
Give not thine honor to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us, and not made unknown unto the heathen. They don't know how to serve the Most High, and they never have. I did a video during the week, and I said, name me one heathen that keeps the commandments or that believes in this truth. And you ain't gonna name me one. Not one. Because anyone that you're gonna perceive as a heathen that believes is an Israelite. The heathen that believes doesn't exist.
It's a special gift of faith. Well, not anyone can. If you got Israelites that ain't gonna believe, how are you gonna get a heathen?
Exactly.
And what is it that you're believing in? That's like an Edomite believing in the Bible. Okay, cool. You believe in the Bible, so you're gonna be destroyed. That's you. How are you gonna believe in your own destruction, man?
Yeah.
See, it's about what you believe as well. How can you believe? But okay, you believe. We know you're not going to because of that reason. Oh, you believe? Okay, it says you're going into slavery. You believe that? Oh yes, and I'm cool with that. Nah, they're gonna say I don't want to believe that.
They just ask vocab.
That can't be true.
Nobody ain't gonna want to believe in something. They're gonna go find another religion, that tells them something good that they want to hear.
Our power, Most High Yahweh, right? He told us we were going to go to slavery. Yeah. Our power.
Yeah. And he just didn't want to
believe
believe
it.
it. He was like, nah, we ain't trying to hear that.
That's why the men are killing the prophets.
Now, if you go to a heathen and tell them the heathen could be saved, they might believe that. But it's a false belief. It's not rooted in truth.
Because you don't want to be saved. Of course, a heathen goes, oh, I can be saved too. Yeah, of course they're going to subscribe. But it ain't for them. You're lying to them. You know? And just one more, I'm going to this quickly. It's Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 29. Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord. We're the people saved by the Lord. It's always been the case. When the Lord, bring judgment against our enemies, he never saved them. They got fucked up. And Israel was saved. Every time. The narrative of the story has not changed.
What verse did you read this now?
What was it, on me?
Yeah.
29.
Read 28. Brother Kashas.
Yeah.
Read it, Brother Kashas. I ain't barking out.
No. Still good.
I was a bit silly, bit too high.
Deuteronomy 33, verse 28. Israel then shall dwell in safety alone. The fountain of Jacob shall be upon a land of corn and wine. Also his heavens shall drop down dew.
It means alone because that's where you go back into the word holy. Holy means to separate something. It's like how you get to sanctify. You get a holy day. A holy day is separated from a normal day.
Yeah.
The saints separated, meaning the two can't be mixed up together in a one batch. Yep. VIP status. So the Israelites are supposed to be VIP, meaning we stand in a whole different section by ourselves, and everyone else is just normalized, common people. Yeah. They're the common people. Just like the royal, then you get the commoners, where you get Israel and you get the common people. So that's why it said we're going to dwell alone.
If I can say as well, that like when you read Isaiah 2, right, you need someone that the nations are going to be looking up to, right? Because if everyone is all the same or whatever, what have you, Isaiah 2 can't be fulfilled.
And this is part of the reason why we're all being changed, where we're being drawn up into the chariots. And that's a covenant that's being made specifically, which he says in Hebrews, the house of Judah and the house of Israel, not the heathen. So how the hell can they be delivered?
But you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to run this beta thing. You know, it's the beta salvation. Oh, well, you know, that's Israel's getting the full salvation, but the heathen, they get the second. Bro, there ain't no in-betweens, bro. There ain't no in-between. Survival is not salvation. There's a difference, but survival is not of course there's going to be heathens that's going to survive. Yeah, it's like, it's
Lord's
not
not going to destroy the earth to save a bunch of Israelites.
We're gonna part save them.
That was never the Lord's intention. That was never the Lord's intention, like, and that's where you're doing what the Christians do.
Yeah.
They have a very erroneous version of what salvation means, dying and going to heaven and all this. No, salvation is the Israelites being established as the princes of God, as the rulers on earth. That's what it is, and everything that comes with that, which includes the physical deliverance from the thermonuclear destruction. And ain't no heathens going to be missiles, but there are heathens that are going to survive in different parts of the world. But they're not. How are they being saved when they're going into slavery? Someone still needs to explain it to me. So then, when man was going on the good ship Jesus over to America, so the dude that died at the port, let's say a guy got killed by Esau at the port, he died. But the guys that made it on the slave ship to go to America, they were saved.
It's like, bro, like, nukes gonna drop and someone's gonna be alright feature and he's gonna, if he's not Jake, he's gonna get put in slave. He's just there and he's waiting.
You got the beta light version of salvation.
Even the scripture describes that captivity like a form of death. Because you're not yourself no more. You're not alive no more. You're not living no more.
They're gonna be getting punished, man.
I got two.
Was he finished on that? Yeah, hold on, let's finish this out.
Yeah, so that was verse 28. Verse 29 says, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee.
Yahweh Shai ain't coming to save no Hebrews. That's crazy. Just like the Lord, Moses didn't go into Egypt to save the mixed multitude.
That's it. They were just left.
They weren't even mentioned, black. He would have said, Moses, tell Pharaoh to let my people go, including the mixed multitude and the cattle. And no, man, the cattle would just
We needed something to eat.
Because the Lord, like you said, the Lord was providing us everything you need for a nation. He gave us, including sometimes you need second class citizens, man. What servants? Which is what they were. They were living amongst us as servants. They didn't get inherited rights because the land was divided among the tribes. It wasn't divided. They didn't get an everlasting inheritance. They weren't part of the covenant. Moses, go and save these next man. They didn't even give the Lord didn't even name who they were. That's how you know it's mad. The tribes got names, right? Oh, Benjamin. These now, the mixed multitude. Them man there. That's what it was. Literally, them man over, them man there.
God.
Yes. Come on, man. Go on, sir.
Gave them numbers.
With the cattle.
Even one, even two.
You know when it falls, you get extras. Extra.
Says, thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen to these Baconites, man. Through the chariots, we're gonna destroy everything Esau's built, man. Yep. Everything that they hold there of high regard, all their statues, everything is gonna be destroyed.
Stadium, all of that shit.
Yeah, but it's only right because they did the same thing when they went around. When they went around conquering all these different nations, they were just going around and destroying. And look what they did to our temple, right? Then look what they've been going around. Like for instance, the thing that you shared earlier on, as a coin about how they were moving out in like India and all of them places, right?
Doing what they're accusing other people.
Exactly. You know?
Now they're
Actually invaded.
actually invading and forcing themselves on other people and their culture, man.
And then those nations then became second-class citizens in their own
Own
country.
man.
You look at
Two-tier.
police.
Yeah, you're Edomites, you Baconites just project. You got some nerve. Anyway, we're gonna segue into the Baconites for now. We want to. We'd love to get down with Baconites, but
Bacon. The chief seal of bacon. The thing is, yeah,
there is a Lord Bacon.
that's actually a common name.
There used to be a repeat episode of
Yeah,
Bacon, something like it.
Ed Bacon.
Yeah, Francis Bacon.
Yeah, it's
streaky bacon.
that's actually the chief bacon, right? That's a seed of bacon and salt. Bacon. This is Mark chapter 1 and 14 to 15. Now after that John was put in prison, Yahushua came into Galilee, preaching the gospel of the kingdom of the Most High, saying, "The time is fulfilled, and the kingdom of the Most High is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel." So like if you read that verse, what do you say? Repent ye, which applies to you. Acts 5 says to give repentance to the nation of Israel. Then believe the gospel.
But hold on. You know what breaks that down? Because we already know, according to scriptures, that the heathens are going to be punished.
Yeah,
But hold on. But if they repent, then how are they going to get punished?
exact. So it says
Obviously, the secondary New Testament benefits don't come.
secondary benefits.
You know, the with adds version.
Yeah. I mean, if someone can get Acts 5, that coincides with that. It specifically says, "And the kingdom of God is at hand. Repent ye and believe the gospel." Acts 5 clearly says this. Read it.
Acts 5 and 29 says, "But Peter and the apostles replied, we must," slacker, this is NLT, "we must obey the Most High rather than any human authority. The Most High of our ancestors raised Yahushua from the dead after you killed him by hanging him on the cross."
The Most High of what? Of our ancestors.
Read it.
The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Again, that's separating that lineage from everyone else. Because they said, "Oh, he's the God of everyone." I mean, if you want to terms as in he's a power over everyone, yes. But in terms of an actual relationship and a connection, no. According to the covenant with Abraham, he said, "I'll be a God unto thy seed." Yeah. So he's not the God of everyone in terms of that special relationship. No.
That makes me think of the precept from Abraham came with all and the people that has chosen. It's like, yeah, Most High's ruling over all man, but like the Lord's got a relationship with a special group of people.
But then when you throw into it, man, the Lord looks at these nations as the dust of the balance. And the drop of a vessel gold. The Most High doesn't really, he doesn't rate the heathen. He never has done. You know, that's why even when the Lord put Israel in captivity, he never gave the nations the those commandments to operate righteously. Never gave them.
Oh, that's a good point. Neither did they come to supremacy because they kept the law. That's what Ezra said. Because they were part. Now, for us, the only way we can come to supremacy is if we keep the laws. But that's part of the covenant. But that wasn't a covenant. That's why Esau, Edom, is running the world right now, and he's wicked as hell. He's been wicked. So supposing gain is godliness. He's gained the whole world, but not through righteousness, through deception, thievery, and murder, and envy, and hate. That's how he's been running this whole thing right here. And that's why he's going to pay for it.
Sirach 10 says what? Because of envies and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated.
I'm going to pick on it. So, yeah. Read it again. Acts 5:29, King James Version. He said, "Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men. The Most High of our fathers raised up Yahushua, who he slew and hanged on a tree. Him have the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins.
To Israel. So in that verse, when he's saying to repent ye and believe the gospel of the kingdom, then it should stand claim who the gospel of the kingdom is for.
And that lines up. And hold that one that you got there. You mentioned that Matthew, yeah, Mark 1 and 15.
Yeah.
You go into the treasury of knowledge, right? When it speaks about the time is fulfilled, right? One of the scriptures that the scholars identify as a link is Daniel's 2 and 44, which says, "And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever."
Because the intention was for Israel to rule the earth. These heathens had their time in rulership, not because through punishment basically, because we didn't fulfill the Most High's covenant. Right? These other nations we put above us because we had to go into captivity underneath them. Yeah. The Lord doesn't intend to lead them in power.
Yeah, and bro, you know what's interesting about bonehead? When you say the word kingdom, what does that entail? People just think, oh, we're just in white, floating, ruling people, we're just eating bare food. No, it's a body of government, so that's going to be established upon the earth. Which involves Daniel 7 says that this kingdom is going to consume all the other kingdoms, and how the other nations are going to all bow down and serve us. That's what the kingdom is,
which is part of the birthright, which was given unto Jacob. The reason that birthright was given unto Jacob is because of the birthright was given unto Isaac.
Yeah.
And the reason it was given unto Isaac is because of the covenant the Lord made with Abraham.
Yeah.
Done.
Don't have to do that.
Perfect, man. See how it link up nice and sweet. Like when you slam domino, blood. Now I've got another one here for you brothers, right? This is going off the other scripture you brothers pulled, yeah? Acts 5 and 20, I think it was 30 that 31, right? Where it speaks about the repentance unto Israel, right? Now the healer Shakar here, he said about the repentance part, right? He said to give repentance to Israel, right? Okay, so this is from the scholars now. They've put together a bunch of scriptures to reference that. Now one of the scriptures they mention here is Jeremiah 31 and 31 down to 33.
Which is the new covenant.
Right? It says, "Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah." You know what that's called in contract? That's the parties. You understand? When you do a contract, there's a party in the contract.
Yeah.
Like when you go do an employment,
Yeah.
you sign up for your work. Work gives you that contract here, which you should read.
Yeah,
It's got everything in there. You should always read the contract and always read your employee handbook. Yeah. Right? There's a reason why your name gets put on that contract.
Yeah.
Because their name will say, "Oh, whatever your name is." That now applies to you, and then it's going to have the company name with the full name with the PLC or whatever it is, and it's going to have all the stipulations that the company owe you and what you owe the company. Key thing is the two parties involved is you and that particular company. Now, can I go to this brother's workplace here and say, "Yo, I'm sick here. You need to give me a pay package"? I say, "Hold on, man. You don't even work. No, I work for you. There's the contract. Yeah, but it doesn't say your name. It says another man's name. Nah, it's cool. I'm in there somewhere."
Yeah.
You can't go even in Esau's court system. I can't. You gotta have it in the contract. So another word for covenant or testament is a contract, and a contract has parties. You can't add to a. It's like
It's like if I could build up what you're saying, because at the very beginning of the contract, it's saying you have the named parties, but then it may sometimes say which. When I now say you, we are referring to this person, and it's the same with the scriptures. When I now say someone to be saved, it is referring to the Israelites, etc., etc.
Well, that even ties into the John 3:16 thing, because it's like the actual context of it. The world is specific. The party mentioned, the arrangement,
which the arrangement is the tribes. The Lord arranged the tribes in a particular arrangement.
And we're already a separate thing from the rest of the world.
And it's interesting because if you actually read before John 3:16, it quotes what happened in Deuteronomy 18.
The numbers.
So it's like again, it says, and as Moses lifted up,
serpent.
so the Son of Man, and then whosoever, because it's like, remember that situation. If you had faith, essentially, that you'd be healed with the serpent, so then you get healed. So it was a mirror of the Lord in the future, on that if you among Israel, whosoever believeth on him, shall be saved.
The fact of the matter is, we've seen it all the time, even in the sports world, whatever the case may be. A man can say what they want to say. You see what happened with Isaac?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had a verbal agreement or this talk. Then man went back to the contract. It's always going to go back to the contract. You can say what you want to say after the fact here, but it always has to be. It always goes back to the contract to define what we're talking about. So if you go into if the Most High said, "Oh, I'm going to save the world," if you want to know what that's talking about, you got to go back to the contract.
Oh, yeah. The thing is, Satan is out there handing that dodgy contracts. You believing that everyone can be saved and whatever, man. It's a lie.
The new covenant, there ain't no secondary benefits to that, man. There's no one in it.
It's the book of Ecclesiasticus, 44, start from 19. Abraham was a great father of many people. In glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High and was in covenant with him. He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful. Therefore, he assured him by an oath that he would bless the nations in his seed.
Yeah, we're just talking about that whole blessing the nations in his seed. We're talking about Israel. Because Israel is going to be delivered from among all nations.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pointed out in Romans.
Which Paul referred to in Galatians as well. Okay. Galatians. Yeah.
And that he would multiply him as the dust of the earth.
But how is Abraham going to be multiplied? Through the Israelites. That shows he's not talking about everyone. Israel is the one that's going to be as the sand of the sea. Yeah, and the whole thing about Abraham's faith is why it applies to us today. Because Abraham was chosen and made worthy because of his faith. And we are doing the same thing. We're being confirmed as his seed by having faith.
But bear in mind, Abraham didn't have a law to go by. He just followed the commandments of every father, which is what he was told.
And Abraham's family was idol worshippers, just like us. We're coming out of idol worship.
Yep.
I mean, brought back to the Lord, man.
And exalted his seed as the stars, and them, and called them to inherit from the sea, and from sea to sea, and from the river, and to the outermost part of the land.
So how do we know that's talking about Israel? We could refer it back to the contract, because in the contract it's very clear who. Because he said to Abraham, "Oh, know of a surety that your seed is going to go into captivity in Egypt, and then I'm going to bring them out of Egypt." So we know who that seed is. There's no debate about who the seed contract is talking about. There's the seed of Abraham, my friend, Israel and Jacob. The seed is the Israelites. There's no debatable. That's not debatable in the scriptures, man. That's why they were saved out of Egypt. That's why the Lord constantly sent them saviors. This is why the whole Bible surrounds the Israelites, because they are the seed that the Lord spoke of.
On that, this is Romans 9:7. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed.
Right, because a lot of times people break it down where it says Abraham is the father of many nations. They start including Ishmael and no. That when the Lord was talking about kings shall come from thee and all that good stuff and many nations, we're talking about Israel. Israel is a nation and a company of nations. Israel is the kings that came out of Abraham, not Ishmael and them are already excluded. They're not in the contract period. They're out of there. The Lord weren't dealing with them. Exile. The many nations that came from Abraham is Israel. That's the nation the Lord recognized. You don't recognize these other waste man running around Dubai and that doing madness.
That's why there was such a thing in the scriptures with Sarah having the child. Because what at first Abraham was like, yeah, I'm going to give substance to my servant. What was that?
What's his name?
What was his name? But it was like, nah, you ain't gonna do that. Don't worry.
Which, if there was ever an opportunity, I forgot the name. If there was ever an opportunity that the physical seed don't matter, was that not an opportunity to prove it?
Yeah.
Because then we wouldn't have nothing to say. Oh, well, you see,
Gave it to him.
it wasn't his actual physical seed, but the Lord allowed him to just have the inheritance. He said, no, man. Man have to.
That's not how I do things. That
That's your seed. It's gonna be. It's not. That's what the contract said. Your seed.
yeah.
And then vocab Home Alone talking about, well, when he said Abraham thought he was talking about his physical seed, but he didn't know
What a
that he was
serpent.
talking. That's how what? So you know, you think the Lord lied or something? No, it was his physical seed because that's why Isaac had to be covered.
Yeah.
If the Lord wanted it to be a political seed or a hypothetical seed, then it would have been his servant because his servant was faithful to him.
He was ready to. Yeah.
In fact, that's a cut. The servant was faithful to Abraham, and the
still
faith
didn't
still didn't earn him that. He was like, listen, bro, you're gonna work, you're gonna be all right, though. We're gonna take care of you. You're gonna work for these seed, but you ain't.
And as I say, even then Ishmael came along. I was like, no, not this one. That's a son of a bumblebee, not this one. Yeah, we're gonna have a son by Sarah, and Sarah laughed. You know what I mean? She was like, nah, she can't be real. And then even Sarah even spoke that this child that Ishmael basically should not have a basically inheritance basically. Cast him out, and the Lord said, "Go and visit." Cast him out.
Yeah, because always the Abraham, which put Abraham was like, look, man, that's your servant. You do what you want with Hagar.
Drama.
Because Sarah was considered royal, and the royal seed was really for Abraham and Sarah.
Yeah.
So the Lord changed her name from my princess to princess. Man. And he went down to Isaac and then on to Jacob. We're a royal, listen, man, we're a royal people, man, by birth. And I know that's hard for people to accept because we've been taught to go against the idea of nepotism or privilege by birth. Innit? Most Jake hate the idea. That's why they can't stand when a Jake
They benefited from.
yeah, like which I get it. Sometimes, man, like obviously you want to see a man earn a thing, but I'm not against a man like his dad's got money. So what?
Yeah.
Like now,
All this generation work, these Jakes supposed to be working. What's that supposed to mean?
yeah, like
Why are you doing that?
Jake hate that. Jake will badman you. They
Yeah.
be like, oh, you're only where you are because of your dad. I'm like,
Hate
yeah,
me.
Jake,
There's certain Jakes that they hate Haley, man. Because his father was in
oh,
he went to private school. You know what I'm saying?
no, but there ain't nothing wrong. Listen, there ain't nothing wrong with privilege. No, but in terms of Haney and his dad sending him to private school,
Yeah,
that,
there's
you ain't
nothing wrong
supposed to
with
hate on a man for that.
Real.
Because you're supposed to get an inheritance from your father. You're supposed to be carrying on from the previous generation. People hate the idea of privilege. And let me tell you something, yeah, there ain't nobody more privileged than us. There is no one more privileged than the seed of Israel. Facts. Because nothing we have that the Lord has given us, we earn. We haven't earned anything. You remember, it's what's written in the scriptures. It's not that him that runneth or that him that willeth, but by the Most High. So we not Israelites because we did a bunch of press ups and we did a whole. No, really, from the beginning, the Lord already chose us and set us up for this path. And yeah, we got to go through the fire. But even having to be able to go through the fire is already predetermined that we're going to do that. So really, we're a privileged.
I have a quick one on that.
So don't hate, man.
Deuteronomy chapter 7:7. The Lord did not set his love upon you, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people. For you were the fewest of all people. But because the Lord loved you, and because he would keep the oath which he had sworn unto your fathers, have the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you. So the point is, he just told you.
And that's the definition of privilege. You can look it up. That is literally the definition of privilege. It's just it doesn't appear that we're privileged because we've been brought down with the curses on the Esau. But ultimately, the world is going to see like, right, these people we're a privileged people. We're a royal seed. When you're blessed from birth, when you inherit the blessing that we really inherited, and where do we have? We've inherited something that you can't Like you can't even put a monetary a value on it. It's invaluable.
Well, that word privilege, I just went into it. It says a special right, advantage, e, e, immunity, wow, granted or available to only to a particular person or group.
That's us. And what is the ultimate the special immunity we were granted?
So,
The forgiveness of sins. Because really, when you break it down, the vessel of there's a vessel of wrath and there's a vessel of mercy. Yeah, and we represent Jacob represents mercy because for what Jacob has done, the Lord would be forget the contract. The Lord would be within his rights to just blast us off the face of the earth, yeah, and then we're gone. But why? Because the Lord Himself has bestowed that we are going to be a vessel for Him to show mercy, to make a sacrifice for our sins. Now Esau,
yeah,
Except for that,
cool.
and it's actually kind of interesting that obviously under the Lord Himself, the principal king is King David, and King David, you see the sure mercy of David,
Yeah.
like because if you compare what Saul and David did, he'd be like, "Raw, what's going on?" But the Lord just gave.
The Lord said, "I will have mercy."
I'll
on whom
have
I will
mercy
have
on
mercy.
who I want.
be something that.
And Esau hurt and that's one of the reasons why Esau's angry and hurt because we are, the funny thing is the roles are reversed because from our point of view, where Jake is angry at hurt because they see the privilege Esau has in society through the system of so-called white supremacy. Yeah? But ultimately, on a grand scale, Esau's hurt
Yeah,
because it's like, rah, the Lord gave man the pecs, gave man the traps,
yeah.
he gave man all the style.
Speed 99, depth 99.
Mbappe,
The overalls, isn't it?
Everything
Overall.
99. Like,
We got all really when you really break it down, we got all the God-given gifts that man can get. Yeah, we receive that. Yeah, like, and even in our lowest state, it still shines through. You know what I'm saying? We've been given gifts, and then on top of that, we were given the birthright.
What do they call that? Diamonds in the rough.
Diamonds in the rough.
I value with diamonds. It's, but we're just in a bad condition.
We have a destiny, a destiny, and destiny's a powerful thing because you can't change destiny. You can't change your fate. So we're already locked into the greatness, man. We're locked in. Not chance, not spinning in the casino and taking a chance and betting. We're locked in. Esau's locked in with doom. And he's like, why me? Hey, then why has thou made me dust? Esau's been locked into doom.
Yeah.
And it's sad for him. But it's not sad for us. Go on,
Especially because even 2/3 got immunity as well.
That's what they were the 2/3 are going to come back in the reincarnation and they're going to be blessed. Because Jacob, and then you got Goofies talking about how they're going to go to hell. No, Jacob as a seed is a seed of mercy. All Jacob are going to receive mercy one way or another. Because it's born, it was set up to them. And that's why we're going to praise and be thankful to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. We truly are a blessed people, man. Regardless of, the trials and tribulations that we've gone through, when you look at it in the grand scale of things, man, the Lord has had there's a whole psalm about the mercy. I said the psalm, it just talks about the mercy of the Lord, man. Because it's crazy now. Esau,
It's peak, is it? This is Romans 9, read from verse 9. For this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children, being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, but the purpose of the Most High, according to
It's
election.
not based on merit.
it wasn't. They already had a path that them two boys were going to take in life, and they really never had a choice. And that's where free will goes out the window when you get to that higher echelons of the understanding. That Jacob was destined to be Jacob and what he was going to do. And Esau was always destined to be doomed, him and his whole posterity. Regardless of everything you got, your penthouse, you're still doomed. That's that doom is right down there. And you ain't gonna you're moving towards it on them walking escalator. You can't get off it. You try to run back up the escalator, it ain't gonna work. You're gonna meet the Waterloo. That day is gonna come. If you are only inevitable. What did my man say? You hear that, Mr. Anderson? That's the sound of inevitability.
And it says, "For the purpose of the Most High, according to election, might stand."
According to elect, meaning his choice. He set up a story. Brother, some of the brothers here were into the art of story writing and filmmaking. And at the end of the day, that's why we always get on the writers. because it's the writer. A movie or a film, yeah, you need a good director. But listen, this is what you can't afford to have: a bad writer. You can get the best director, you can get the best actors, you can have the best set design. Hey, listen, see these Hollywood films, you've got to give it to a lot of the graphics designers and that. They be working hard. Like I've seen some Hollywood films, the set design is amazing, off the charts. A lot of Star Wars stuff, the set design is amazing.
Whoa, yeah.
But everyone trashes them films. You know why? Because of the writer. The writer is the one that decides what the characters do or don't do and what they say. And if the writing is garbage, no actor or director can save it. It's cooked. Well, the Lord is the writer of this story. That's why it's called a script. Sure. So he's the one that wrote the script for what Jacob is going to do and what Esau is going to do and where they're going to end up. He chose it already.
And it says, "Not of works, but of him that calleth."
Not of works, but of him that calleth. So it's not our works what made us Israelites. It's not our works that made us the seed of Abraham. The Lord made us that way. Although, because he made us that way, there are works that's going to come with that. There's a path that has to come with that. That we are walking that path. That's how we got to where we are now. Israel has followed the script. And guess who else has followed the script? Esau. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Everything Esau has done is part of the script. You ain't done nothing outside the box, my man. Even when you bring the MOTB and you try to bring in a New World Order, it was all in the script. You looking at us like we're crazy. He said, you know when he said to Babe, was getting caught part of your plan? Of course. It was all part of the plan. It was always part of the plan that we were going to be here in Babylon, in the UK, and just catching hell on the Baconites. But that was the Lord's plan. We have to accept that and humble ourselves. We get upset, we get vexed, but we have to accept that this was the Lord's will, that these Baconites was going to be lording over us.
Lord Bacon. Do you know what precept comes to mind when you say that? The whole of Psalm 73. That verse, that verse is kind of like you was talking about it the other day. We were talking about it. It's like you be seeing how he just gets anything more or less in this world, right? But then when the Lord opens up your mind and actually sees, it's like, oh no, it's just because right now he's the one in charge, but it's only for a short period of time. He's gonna have the greatest fall of anyone because actually he's pissed off every nation right on the face of the planet.
But Act 3.
Yeah.
There it is. Hey, story writing. They
Yeah.
always have the second act, low point. For the protagonist, that's us. We've had our low point. But the third act is when you regroup and the villain gets what's coming to them. But we're in the third act right now. And that's what's about to happen to Esau. And in the movies, it's the same thing. The villain, he was winning. He hella going into the third act, hella confident. But by the credits, man's cooked.
Yep.
It's like what I was saying earlier about second Ezra speaking to the angel about everything that's going on with the Babylonians. But that's a powerful lesson for us to know because they're in the same situation. Our enemies are ruling over us. They're wicked as hell and they're benefiting it on an unknown scale.
Hella strong.
And Jacob's suffering. The Israelites are suffering. But it's not because that's not for their benefit though. They're not benefiting from what they're doing. They're ruling right now. They're having it nice. They're going to get great judgment.
And the Lord says, surely the Lord have set them in slippery places. So they go, and like my Aunt Millie would say, when you slip, you slide. You know what's going to happen after that. Like to get whooped. That's how the thing goes.
Because in this glory, all this dominion that you have, you're just increasing your wickedness. The Lord is letting you mount up your sins up into the heavens, man.
And your pride.
Yeah.
Because they're hella bold.
Yeah.
They really think that they're the ones in control, but you're not. The one with the pen, the script writer, is that is the one that controls this movie. It's not you. You're just the actor.
What's the word? Hubris.
Yep. Hubris.
Esau has hubris, man.
Yep.
He's gonna try to fight the Lord.
which is all in the script.
This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 3 and the 13. and the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure. So man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as likest him best.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. That's the prerogative of the Most High. He gets to decide what he wants to do with his creation.
Yep.
Right. And so if the potter, which is the Most High, wants to make, a vessel unto honor, in which his children,
Value.
glory, zion, the monument.
Which honor means value. So we're the most valuable asset.
Then if he wants to make a vessel to dishonor, right, which is Esau in this case,
Lacking in value.
lacking
Worthless, rubbish. And what do you do with rubbish? You burn it.
chuck it, throw it, smash it, whatever you want. Right? It's not worth nothing to you.
So,
Right? And we know Esau's a creature that was made without no faith. And most I don't respect those without faith.
The only value Esau has is to play the part of the wicked.
That's right.
Because you devils don't have value in the earth in terms of righteousness. Because you mess everything up, man. You do have certain knowledge and you have the money and the funds to make the world better, but because of your heart is foul, you will never do that. You will never choose to do that. You will never choose to do good. You will only do evil. And that's you, and that makes you lacking in value, lacking in honor, man. You're a demon, man.
Sorry, just one more thing, because it's inevitable, right? Because not everything could be a vase, like a priceless vase. Not everything could be that. Something has to be a shit pan, right? Something has to be a toilet bowl. Something has to be, because you can't live without one. You need one, right? And it happens to be that Esau was the one chosen to pull that role, man.
And to be weak, and to be the just nasty, man. And it is what it is, man.
It's not evil, because at the end of the day, look, like I said, you need these things. Not everything can serve the same purpose,
well,
right?
the Bible says 2 and 2
That's
are
right.
against each other.
It's inevitable. It has to happen. There's going to be a contrast to something, right? There has to be a contrast. And Esau's been chosen to be that negative contrast. You know?
That's what and you were made to be that way. And that's why, it is what it is. Listen, man, everybody can't play in the NBA, man. Some men are born to be in the NBA. Bro. There's niggas out there training, they ain't making it, bro. You like, you're my nigga, bro. That guy's 6'6", bro. You know what I mean? And that's how it is, bro. Even if we talk about it all the time, even in ball, the ball is genetic lottery, man. Yeah, there's a mental aspect of it, which is also really a gift of the Lord. Some men have mental strength, some men don't.
I mean, you be a coach.
You're a coach, but really a lot of ball, if you break it down, is pure genetics, and we've seen it. Man, every man knows them 8-year-old ballers, man that were balling in primary school, and puberty came, and they were slow as hell. And that alone, you ain't good enough. There's men right now in Man United Academy, Arsenal Academy, and they're good ballers. But the reason they're not going to go into the first team is you're a little bit too slow. You're a little bit too short. There's another you, that's faster than you. He ain't faster because he trained more than you. He's just faster because the man got crazy genetics, man. You look at some of these ballers like Saka and these men have got genetics come like them dudes are thin but super strong. If you went and try to tackle, man, they'll just rip right off your ribs. Bro.
Honestly, I'm not even joking. Like one of the most strongest person I've met in my life was a Morgan Nigerian baller. I tried moving and he was like a rock.
What was the man that used to say?
Go to gym. Go to gym.
Bro, genetics is a real thing in sport and in life. It's true to a certain degree, but then who makes it like that? The Lord, if the Lord wanted to, he would have made it where every man was made the same. So even if we bring it to Jacob and Esau, going back to when the two children, it says one nation shall be stronger than the other.
Two men.
We were blessed, and the funny thing is, through the system of Edomite supremacy, they tried to flip it on us, like they were the superior race. No, really, the superior genetics, the superior race on earth, Jacob.
Yeah.
We are the superior race in reality.
Like, precept.
Yeah.
This is Genesis 25 and 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tents. Where if you go into the word for plain, it says perfect, complete, one who lacks nothing in physical strength, beauty, sound, wholesome.
We got it all.
Yeah.
Jake really has every attribute that unlocked.
It says more. It says one who is morally and ethically pure. So it says physical
What?
strength.
which is another way to say white.
Yeah.
Because really, we're supposed to be the real white people in the earth, not them. Esau is not. Listen, man. These men are. They're gay on. Listen, man. I keep telling you about the Edomites, bro. There's two types of Edomites. There's Edomites that's coming out, and there's Edomites in the closet.
Yeah.
Oh, there's only two types of Edomites.
We brought out the stats a couple of months back about how the red states, they like the tea porn, man.
Yeah, of course.
You know,
Of course, man. They're corrupt, man.
It says perfect, plain, undefiled. You know, because the heathen, like the like the first application scripturally of being uncircumcised was the heathen. It actually says it, that the heathen was uncircumcised. And then obviously with Jake became scattered, that was a title that got put on Jake because he was acting like it. Yeah. But Jake by nation is a circumcised nation in the eyes of the Lord.
We're supposed to be a good youth. Esau, you can tell Esau was a bad youth from day one. And they are bad youths, man. And they're known for being like that.
because I say as well, it's like that precept said what of appearance. Because you think about the fact that he has made himself look like him and his woman are the most prized beauty, and it's like, no, you're not.
No,
You're not. Far from.
it's PR.
PR.
PR, man. Bro, they used to be telling man that Kylie Minogue had the best body and the best ass. I remember when I was growing up, they used to have them magazines like top 100 asses in the world, and it was pathetic, man. But it was just PR. That's what Esau has. It's propaganda.
That's it.
Pushing propaganda, like, and they're
Yeah.
trying to put everyone else down. We are superior to these people, man.
Yeah.
We are superior, period. Point blank. No matter which way you want to slice it, you put our best against their best. It's not even a competition. It's only through the curses and the script why we're in the position that we're in now. If they weren't for the script saying so, man, we'd be cooking these Edomites already. Man.
And so even now we're on a low level compared to what we were.
Yeah, and we're still
What we're gonna be.
Edomites always breaking legs, breaking noses. Man get a football to the face and man's nose is broke.
Yeah, bro. What's it called, man? I used to have a what? Yeah, in the past. Yeah, I mean, I used to have a family friend, right? That worked in a Jewish school, right? She told me they don't have PE. They don't do PE. Wow. No exercise, physical activity in the school. I said, why? She said, man, I don't know.
That's why you don't get many Benayoons.
Yeah.
So better use at the one.
Yeah. So I said to her, how come, man? She said, oh, I don't know, man. They're no to me. She said, like, these like,
Bro,
great
their
ankle.
babies can't keep their head up.
And Amalek's probably the most frail of them all.
Yeah, they're
You see that leaders, you know, they're the Rothschilds,
and they're envious. They hate Jake because of it.
Forget the other girl.
They hate on Jake because of those superficial things, and we're even superior in everything else, including intelligence. And they try to run this IQ game. They don't believe it. It's a lie. Don't believe that these Edomites have higher IQs. It's not true. Just go to any pub, and you'll find out that it's not true at all. These men, I don't know higher IQ individuals. It's a lie.
I was hearing you talk about how these guys have more tendencies. I was basically speaking to someone who used to work at like one of those big accountancy firms, PwC and that. And the stories he was telling me is like these men are just lewd up in there. Bro.
Yeah,
They're actually gay.
why are you?
Parental guidance advice. But basically, apparently, this guy went up. This one Edomite went up to someone, a group of people, and said, "Oh, I've got 3 jokes for you," and pulled down his pants.
Yeah. It's like
That's it.
they do it, and then they're known for this.
And
They're
then he
known
got
for the
promoted
Friday
the next week.
I mean, even that picture of that dude, the drunk Edomite.
Esau is a freak of the week, but that's how the thing always been. But they're the man buying parts, buying bag, and they're the ones doing it. Man. They don't even
They're
do
lewd,
that.
bro.
They're lewd.
To them, that's funny.
You know, they're heathens, man, and they've gone below the radar because they like to point the finger at other heathens. No, these men are the freakiest, the most deviant people you could find ever in the history of the planet Earth, man.
Man, you see what they do at the football tournaments? That's why no one likes these Brits on
Look,
holiday.
remember that video went viral? That like, tongue kissing that dog.
Yeah.
You see that video? She did that. The dogs all got the tongue. Oh, and she was sucking it. She sucked on the dog's tongue. I'm like, bro. Yeah. Oh, nasty, bro. That's nasty, bro. But that because this in their spirit. They were made to be
Disgusting.
And then they look down and you will eat it with your hands.
Bro, and it's, it's interesting, bro. It's not interesting at all. Like, in like, one of the first people I ever heard mention that animal farm thing. Like it's always either British, either of a certain generation. When they was younger, they always used to watch that fucking animal farm. Like you know what? I'll give brother an experiment. Ask either might work if you talk to them saying, like, what is that? And fucking all of their eyes light up. I think it was a Dutch or Israeli Dutch porno flick, which is a group of Edomites. Yeah, a group of Edomites at a farm, just bestiality, off. And when these, the Edomites in the 50s, I think it came out in the 70s and stuff. And I only ever heard that shit from them. It'd be workplace.
They make animal dildo.
Huh?
Yeah, the company,
Nah,
my company, they make dildos in the shape of dog penis.
Oh my!
Listen, man. Listen, these eat them anyway. Let's
That's Esau for you.
It's corrupt.
Yeah.
Hebrews 12:16. Lest there be any fornicator.
Can I jump in just on the money? It says Job 30 from the top says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision.
Bro, yeah,
Right? Whose fathers I would have
because
disdained.
spirit, like we came before them anyway.
Whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my
And
flock.
it's not an exaggeration. It's not an exaggeration. If you read some of these books, like even the 13th tribe, and speaks about certain things these free cast Eves doing, like they wear their clothes to like.
Bro, they're still doing it.
They're still doing
Listen,
it.
like, just pull any prostitute off the street, right, and then just ask her. These men have been freaky, man.
Yeah,
They doing madness that don't make no sense, man. I don't even know what. Listen, bro, we've known that now you got Jake. I don't know what's wrong with Jake now. Jake in 2026 is following Esau.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, man, them men that were off the reservation, it was always Edomites.
Yeah.
Always Edomites doing shit that's off the reservation. That's crazy. And through the porn industry, which they control and own, that's how they've managed to spread their freakiness over the place.
Yeah.
These are the man making monster porn and doing. Let me dress up like a monster and have sex with tentacles. All this stuff. What the hell are we doing out here?
I mean, bro, like, remember, like, there's an industry for those of beings at a certain age. You know what I mean? That freaks by.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then they're pushing a whole conversation. Well, if it's not
Max.
hurting a real,
Yeah.
if it's not hurting a real one of that age, then that's probably better. They should just. And it's like, what are we
Well, there's a
talking
term
about?
called virtual pedophile. There's pedophiles who
PDF file.
yeah.
Everyone's trying to get through channels.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's freaks, all right? Freaks that basically they buy dolls and they do it to the doll and not to actual. So that makes them some in that virtuous. How does that make you're sick?
But they just caught working in the nursery.
An 18-year-old, even might which speaking of nurseries, bro. If you brothers who have seen at that age, you've seen the kind of staff in these nurseries. Like, how did you get a job?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
In fact, they just caught, because this is the funny thing is that you got these men running this program about the immigrants or the ones, great guys, great guys. Right? This guy just got caught. Yeah, his name is they said possibly the most prolific ex-offender in British history. So they're saying this dude surpassed Jimmy, the British treasure Savile. You know the guy that got the green beret, the keys to the kingdom. That guy.
Yeah.
It says the inside story of the Mendomsley scandal, a youth detention center in northeast England, that the PDF file Neville husband raped and assaulted countless boys. Yeah, why his reign of terror allowed to go on, and why hasn't there been a public inquiry? Because all them British boys' homes, girls' homes, and everything to do with children. They man were getting touched. Everything. But then, oh no, it's the Muslims and the immigrants that. No, bro, you Edomites have been freaky, and this is the dude, bro. Let me see if I can get it on camera, man. You tell you this.
We need to start. You know how Esau likes saying usual suspects. We need to start usual suspects.
Well, it is. Well, he's
Yeah, red man.
he's this suspect.
He's the original, bro.
He's the original
fugitive.
suspect. Yeah, he's the
Yeah, I got
criminal
one.
crimson. Yeah, and I've got some stats that I pulled from the chat before. You go first. Precept first.
Bro, man said he was. This one said he was great, repeatedly tied up and ligatured around the neck. That's nasty. Boy, should have killed yourself.
Well, John Wedger, man.
Yeah, this is one of the guys that John Wedger was hoping to expose, and then they end up finally having to do him in. Look, 2007. Look, this guy abused 2,077 former inmates.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking. That's a sick person.
Putting up the numbers.
Frequently, bro. Frequently.
There's a bump there, and I'm like, you're speeding. You don't know there's a deadly ass bump there. So he just.
Anyway, it's just a little. And you could go into Esau, the most prolific PDF file in America is actually doctor, the pediatrician in America. But you see, all that will be ignored. It's the third world that's the problem. Yeah.
Oh, what was it? Is it? I always forget the guy. Is it the McKinsey Institute or whatever?
Alfred Kinsey.
Kinsey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the father of the sexual revolution.
Yeah.
He was a PDF file as well.
Man wanted to find out at what age someone starts getting orgasms.
Yeah, so he's molesting babies. Yeah, but Esau, man, that's anyway. Let's keep the
Esau.
Hebrews.
Yeah. And it's in everything.
And it's in them. It's in their spirit to have this deviant nature, man.
Kellogg's, like cornflakes. If you go and look why he made cornflakes, you won't believe it. I'll just leave it as that. If you look why Kellogg's made cornflakes and what it was for, you be like, bro, I just put some cornflakes. It was
But
demonic.
isn't there so many things like that?
Yeah, there's many things.
So many scandals, but then we need to ignore all that and just say, well, it's the third world and the immigrants that destroyed everything. So if it was only Edomites, it'd be like an elven utopia.
It's the same thing with the whole slavery thing. They got these statues that are up with all these slavers and that. But yeah, they were slavery, that was bad. But look at what they did, all the good they did in the community. They want to slide, put that here. They don't want to put that aside instead of that big nothing.
Yeah, but a drug dealer wouldn't get the same.
No, never.
Yeah, drug dealers hanging out turkeys at Christmas and that. Yeah, man still will say he's a piece of,
Yeah. Hebrews 12 and 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For you know how afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected.
Yeah.
But he found no place of repentance, for he sought it carefully.
Esau is anti-righteous. Right? The Most High put that anti-righteous spirit in. He's a rebellious spirit.
I want to say Messiah, but he's the anti-Messiah.
He gave him a rebellious spirit, not follow the right way.
A faithless spirit. Yeah. That's why he's trying to establish his blessing now, but it's not through faith and it's not through the word of the Most High. It's through his own witchcraft and his own technology. He's trying to establish a blessing for himself.
So,
Whereas we're saying, and that's why it's said the meek shall inherit the earth. We're saying we can't establish a blessing for ourselves. We can only go by the word, and that makes us meek and humble to the Lord. Esau ain't meek. He's saying, if I get some AI and I do this and I do some geometria, then I can establish my own thing.
Esau can't accept it. He wasn't chosen.
Like even if I'm not gonna read the article, but what's the headline on this guy? Esau not being right. It says the weird but true history of cereal, from anti-sex campaigns to mind control. Bro, you're just trying to eat breakfast. Like you're just trying to have some milk and honey on your damn bran flakes. And it was from anti-sex to mind control.
Yeah.
Esau, bro.
But that's what happens. Listen, you gotta break it down like this.
Yeah, right, bro.
Esau, no matter what he does, it'll always be corrupt, because if the person is corrupt, the thing they do will be corrupt.
Like, you can't be saying
That's
that.
why he can't have Esau in control of anything, because his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright.
Well, remember with Haman, it says in the Apocrypha he was laboring underhanded to overthrow the Persians, and long term, the Persian,
Ended up
the Greeks came after the Persians. You know what I'm saying?
And he was a Macedonian.
He was a Macedonian. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows you that even though he was doing the most, destroy Mordecai, he was still trying to overcome Persia.
Listen, you can't, and that's why even with this economics thing, he tell you the same thing. He sort of put what listen, he could say any ism. The man can write a book about a million isms, and he'll have you choosing between the isms. Oh no, it should be communism. Oh no, it should be socialism. Or it should be capitalism. You know, or all these isms and schisms. Listen, any ism and schism that Esau come up with is gonna always end in oppression because it's him. He's the one running it, so it's always gonna be Edomism. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
So they got you choosing, but the ultimate problem is him. He is not right. So anything he does, whether it's the food or whatever it is, yeah, his demonic nature is gonna taint it, and it's gonna be evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
Can I do? I forgot what I'd asked, but I only took a screenshot of it on the Chat GPT, because basically it's like once again going into this point about statistics and why he loves a good statistic, because you can hide a lot of information in statistics, right? Because they'll be talking about
certain man's ballers, but
right? Would you call it so? Like you may say per capita, you know, these sorts of people commit these amount of crimes. But when you look at the raw numbers, that paints a completely different picture. So the stats have been read from gov.uk, so that's the United Kingdom, right? So it says sentence actual offences, right? Year ending June 2024, right? I forget the whole number, but it says of the Edomites, right? 4,000 of the ones that were found guilty, 4,476 were Edomites. Then so-called black 313, right? So-called Asians 437, and mixed 98, right? That's a large disparity. Now, specifically for PDF related stuff, right? Total defendants 9,211. Defendants where the ethnicity was known 6,356. Edomites comprise 90% of that.
that's crazy.
90% of that. Yeah.
Just tribals. Teachers, when we was in school, like, we got clocked up like they were doing madness, man, and all this. Man, the hell with these devils, man. But they're out here running a campaign against the immigrants, saying we gotta protect our children. No, the children you protected from you.
Yeah.
You man are the real deep sexual deviant. Not to say no one else ain't doing madness, but you're the number one across the world. In fact, sex tourism for children, you are the number one customer.
Yeah.
Whether it's Brazil or Thailand or
You get the money.
Philippines,
Yeah.
you're running
You
over
got the money.
there.
Yeah, because I remember we went into this a long time ago, but basically about how really when you're around the world, it's Esau's there.
It's all
Like,
there.
He's always there. It'll be in the Mongolia somewhere. You know, and you've got Edomites there.
Setting up some, and even them guys setting up these charities, man.
Yeah.
And they're doing the most, man. They're doing the most. Okay.
This is the book of Deuteronomy 32 and 31. For their luck is not as our luck, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is the vine of Sodom and of the field of Gomorrah.
That's, hey, when the Bible says America is spiritual Sodom and Egypt, it's not a joke. These Edomites wholesale are all freaks. And if you think that these right wingers here are against LGBT, no, they're against LGBT. That's outward. They don't like the idea of man's doing the menage a trois.
And that's the same as the Greeks.
Yeah, but yeah.
It's the same way.
But behind closed doors, the Brockback Mountain thing is a real thing. They be having wives, cowboys. They got wives, but then they're rolling around.
And that's why they're gonna culture slapping each other in the
in
arse.
their
and
hate.
shit.
Yeah, but they're the same man that will come out and call a man an F. They be like, "Oh, he's an F." Trump
Personality is giving it.
Secretary of Treasury, and this just proves that the whole idea that the right wing don't like LGBT is false. Because the guy who's running the Treasury, his name is Scott Bessant. He has a husband and 2 adopted children. Facts. Now, how can I thought MAGA and that was against all that
Yeah.
wokeism and the LG to the and all this business.
Yeah.
So how is this guy allowed to be running the treasury?
DEI.
Well,
And no, none of them are coming out and saying, "Well, hold on, this guy, how come he's being allowed to adopt 2 children?"
Yeah, that should be
And
against.
he looks like a proper. Have you ever seen this guy, Scott Bessard? He looks like a nasty mo.
Was he?
it makes sense why he's
He's the treasury he's the treasury secretary.
Oh man.
Of
Can you remember the educational one that Biden had, the woman thing, transgender?
Oh yeah, that was
That's
nasty. Yeah, they were all taking the piss of that.
yeah.
But you see, Scott Bessard doesn't look like a flamer. He looks like a normal.
Yeah.
Let me show you a picture of this guy, Scott Bessard, and he's always on TV. And you might not know if you see him, but this guy. But he's got a husband. Google it. Scott Bessard, the House Treasury. This is Trump's man that he picked to be the Treasury Secretary, and he's a straight up mo. He's got a husband.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
So how
Because
does that work?
because it's like with the outward ones, that's the image that gets pushed out to the rest of the world. He sort of wants to maintain a certain look.
That's
You
that's
know?
and that guy looks like his brother. I ain't gonna lie. It's looking spooky. That's Scott Bessard and his husband, and his adopted son. They got 2 of them. And that's MAGA, right? I thought MAGA wasn't about the
Yeah, that doesn't look like his brother. either.
yeah, that looks spooky, blood.
That
Yeah.
don't look like.
That's Scott Bessard there. And that child is obviously an adopted child. Man. We already know what them men are on. So but then I thought MAGA was all about righteousness and bringing back religion and all this talk. No, it's all bullshit, man. Them men are all a bunch of freaky guys. That's why they're down with it. And we heard about Trump's little, there's an image out there of blowing off Biden, but that ain't nothing new. We already know that all these initiates and all these secret societies. Hold on, you think you're the king of Babylon and you're not a mole? Didn't you read when the thing is spiritual Sodom and Eve? You get to them higher echelons and you ain't dabbling in the dark arts.
And the reality is that will be the least. That'll be the least of the things that he's got.
Trump and Clinton, man.
Yo,
What's going on?
if you to be president, listen, to be president, which is a high level witch, remember you're the ogre, you're augurated to bring forth the new world order. You're a witch, you're a high level witch, and they all turn up to the ceremony. All the ex-witches, they all turn up and give them the power. All the people give them the power to perform the enterprise, right? You don't get to that position if you're not a high level witch, because that's a high level witch position. You got to be a high level warlock to be selected to have that honor to play that role, to cast those spells. So you think man's not into the freakyism? You must be. You think he got there because he's good at business? Man, you've been watching too much TV, my man.
Yeah.
Anyway, any other
Have a look,
let me get back into this. We're getting on his bacon nights, man.
this is Habakkuk 2 and 16. It says, "Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be upon thee, and shameful spirit shall be on thy glory."
Yes, the shame. You Edomites are running from the shame. We ended slavery. We built the greatest civilization. Oh, the third world. Oh, you running from the shame. Listen, the shame is you destroyed the food.
Yeah.
You destroyed the water. You destroyed the family. No one else did that.
Yeah.
You did that. You destroyed the family. You destroyed the women. You destroyed the children, the highest rate of child suicide, child murder, every metric you can think of. You've destroyed it all, but we've got mobile phones, but the mobile phones destroying our brains. Yeah. You destroyed the education of the people. The people in general are more dumbed down now than they've ever been. Even with access to information, most of the information is lies. Lies about history, lies about everything, lie. You Edomites you should be ashamed of yourself. You got a world where you got poverty that's on an unimaginable level. I was watching I told the brother earlier, I had to bring my daughters in and say, look at this, man. You lot should be thanked the Most High. Some slums in Philippines, and what did they say? Oh, Philippines has had growth. The Edomite words, all this growth here, but the growth doesn't actually extend to the majority of the people. So they're living in slums, and man are going into bins. Yeah, pack. Oh yeah, the pack. Get in the bins, the bones out of the restaurants, and washing it and recooking it and feeding it. This is on Esau's watch, and then he's been fighting poverty. Esau said he's been fighting poverty from since like 30 years ago. The G20, the G. They ain't fighting no poverty. They are creating the poverty.
Yeah.
And then you got man like Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and they propping him up as he's some savior of mankind. Are we for fucking real? This guy's a fucking supposed to be like some trillionaire or something, and then you got people eating pad.
Because the thing as well, it's like when he wants to keep with certain place, he likes to keep them poor because then it means what? Those people can be heavily exploited.
Yeah.
That's why you get certain parts in the world you talked about. It's just straight up all about sex
But
stories.
that's why the third world exists, and then they're gonna act as if. And then the reason they can get away with this is that out in schools they don't teach you about what neoliberalism, the true mechanisms. They won't have you go into school and John Perkins, the economic hitman, and give you that. So the average bacon eater don't know nothing about the economic hitman.
Yeah.
So as far as they're concerned, when they see the third world, they're just like, well, it's
dangerous.
they want to be poor, innit? Yeah, even though then when it's time for you to complain about your conditions in England, it's not your fault, is it? It's someone else, it's the immigrants' fault, yeah. But when it's
The
people,
government.
yeah, they're poor because they want to be poor. You know, it's the third world, isn't it? Like we're the first world. We invented everything. It's like all this bullshit.
And it's the joke is this is actually what they believe.
This is what they believe, and then they don't understand.
Like, this nigga really believes the shit.
Yeah.
Bro, this nigga really,
Drink the Kool-Aid.
it's like, you know, it's like obviously, there's an uncle that I work with, and he's got like bare homes, Nigeria, building hotels, roads named after shit. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But this bacon eater that I work with, he's like, so back there, even though he's got them houses, it's still kind of bad, isn't it? Dangerous. I said, no, it's, to be honest, it's kind of one of the most safest places I've been. You know? And then, yeah, go ahead.
Because that's one of the things that Esau likes to push.
Yeah.
That everywhere else is
It's
bad.
dangerous.
Everywhere else is dangerous. Esau likes to say other nations are more racist than here in America, right?
Yeah.
I remember someone was saying it was like an East Asian person. It's like complaining about an American complaining about racism. Like you're from the home of racism.
Yeah,
No, you made it scientific. You
Exactly.
went to the point where you actually tried to make it science.
Do a whole system for it.
and it's still here today.
It's still here, like.
We have higher IQ.
It's like,
It's
nigga,
crazy.
What did you do? What did you
So
do?
the average people, they don't know the extent to everything they've done in the world. So because they don't know about neoliberalism, they don't understand how you constantly handicap like Jamaica. Like you go into the history of Jamaica and the CIA, how they handicapped Jamaica. When Jamaica was progressing and the people were getting more, they brought in all the sectarian violence and all these things. And they brought in the guns and funded the gangs. Yeah, the guns were all funded through the government, the CIA, man, and they destroyed Jamaica, man, and set it back. They've done this. Hate is the way it is. What, by itself? No. They've gone in there and funded the gangs, funded these different things, yeah, and undermined people.
Well, it's like us was talking about Venezuela.
Yeah,
What they're about to do to Venezuela is going to. Well, they already fucked already, but they're going to make it even worse.
And then when guys try and come up to America to escape, they'll say they're wondering why.
go back.
Yeah.
This is
Or they just put, but they're suffering. Venezuelans are suffering, man.
the money.
And they've been attacking that place for a long time, man. Even when was there the other president? Chavez? No, Hugo Chavez was the president before, wasn't it?
Well,
You know what
it
they're
goes
doing,
back to the Monroe Doctrine. They destroyed South and Central America and created crises to benefit their corporations, man.
So we got to always remember Esau destabilized Latin America for bananas. That's where you get the term banana republic from.
Yeah.
Like they're not so bananas at
UK's
Jake.
favorite fruit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's their favorite fruit. It's crazy.
Yeah. Chiquita is not an American. It's not a Latin American company, although they call it. And that's one of the things Esau will do, right? But that's why it speaks about when he's brought down, right? Basically, everyone is gonna. The whole earth is gonna be at peace. It's gonna be at rest.
They weakened them. He that weakened the nations, because that's all you really done. You weaken people. That's the only way you can. You gotta drug everyone. You gotta hamper everyone.
Subvert.
You got to subvert people
not-
to have your position, whereas we're
Handicap.
not going to have to subvert the nations.
And this
We're just going to be superior because we are.
and this ties into Esau's nature about being a cunning hunter. And put people snares and traps. And he's, you know, Charlie.
Oh yeah. Hey, praise
Yeah, right. About
Another one is coming as well.
that one.
oh, enough one again.
Oh, we're the same thing. So yeah. Great.
Where? 2, 3. It's happening again, bro.
Basically, what happened at last camp?
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, yeah, Russ Dallas, you know,
No, it's like around.
There's one that's standing still there, but see against.
that's going fast, bro. See how quick we past that star. Look at that one. Going fast. We'll pray to tell us not die, man. Hey, man, this is what's going to happen to Esau.
And it's gonna bring a shame
Wow,
into it.
there's more of
It's
this
still coming. It's still coming. Last time.
That's all right.
What happened last month? Same place.
Must do some more investigation.
I'm happy I'm here, boy.
Must do some more investigation, man. That could be something else, bro.
Yeah, it's
Starlink.
it's
No,
it's a Starlink train.
Oh, is that what it is?
You have that?
Yeah, so when they release new batches of
So are you
satellites,
saying it's definitely that? And it's not
No,
a
you can't take it.
no, you can check.
I'm just asking you.
It could be Starlink.
Yeah, because it's
I don't think there'll be that many.
yeah, no, they release like hundreds at a time.
Oh,
You
okay.
can
That would make sense. There's a lot of them just coming in a straight line.
because
But
you
if
can
you want to do a zigzag thing, you know.
because you can with Starlink you can check on the you can check on their website whether there's a
But
train or not.
regardless, man, hey, listen.
Well, we know the chariots are gonna come.
Esau's gonna get.
Oh, that's what
You don't want that close.
yeah, just down.
The shame that Esau deserves is actually it's on the next level. All the evil that Esau's done, we could literally be here and talk about it, and we wouldn't end the stream. We just keep on going about all the wickedness, the steely, and then there's all the stuff that we don't know about. There's all the underhanded things. You know, they used to do poisoning. They used to spray biological weapons and that in the UK. It got declassified.
Yeah,
They were
Down
experimenting
in
on
Portsmouth and that.
people.
The coast, South Southern coast,
Portsmouth up
stuff like
north as well.
Makes sense, man.
I mean, Esau, and that was to his own people. Esau's a demon of the highest degree.
It makes sense why some of these rich towns is low IQ fucks.
Hills, but
Can I get something really? It's Nahum chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power. I will not at all acquit the wicked. You're not going to be absolved of your crimes. You can't absolve yourself. Because that's what you guys want to do. But it's only because men like us, men that put in your face what you've done. Then you getting all defensive. Forget about that. Lord is not gonna forget. He ain't gonna quit you, man. You gotta make sure you're gonna feel the full force of his wrath, man.
we're not going to allow you to romanticize and flatter yourself.
No.
Because that's what you would have it done. Like you could be romanticized in the eyes of the people. So we just forget all the evil that you are doing and have done.
Remember all the good stuff, which is bullshit.
No, bro, you ain't no hero, and that's what you want. These Edomites want to be the hero of the story. You're not the hero, man. You're Joffrey. You're the nasty villain that when you get blasted at the end of the film in the most ridiculous way, everyone's clapping and going home happy. And that's what's going to happen when you get dealt with. When the great judgment of the Lord comes upon you and your people, right? Everyone's going to be happy. There's a saying in the islands that hurts are good. That's what you're gonna get. Like, when you get, you mash up yourself and the man say, "I'm good." Oh, yeah, you deserve it, man. You deserve it, man. Everything you're about to get, you deserve 100%.
This is Jeremiah 50 and 23. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
You man, industrialized warfare. We're gonna sit here and pretend, that you didn't spend $1 trillion on I tried to find the numbers for the UK. You spent their money on Iraq and Afghanistan. You spent $1 trillion on Afghanistan and Iraq, just industrialized warfare, just over there, just boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and somehow you're not a violent people. You literally broadcasted it. You know like how niggas broadcast their shit now?
You know, niggas go and do some stupid shit and they broadcast it, then they go get arrested. I remember, shock or not, that was on the news. Yep, it's about to begin. And then everyone kind of knows, and this is how Esau works, is witchcraft. Man kind of know now it was all about oil. Like, it's actually well known that the whole thing was a lie. It was all about oil. And there's literally no accountability. 1 million Iraqis died, yeah? And there's zero. No one went to jail. Tony Blair and all them man said they'll do it again. They lied. There weren't no weapons of mass destruction. The guy, what's his name? Dr. Kelly, who wrote the thing that said there wasn't no mass destruction, he went out into the woods and shot himself with a shotgun. He committed suicide. Like,
And this is the thing. They'll say, well, "Oh, we made the best decision with the information we had." You don't want to control the information. You want to make the information. So you just straight up lie.
but how was it worth killing 1 million people and destabilizing a whole country? Why didn't you just go and assassinate him? You went in there and just blew the
But
country.
hold on, they're meant to be going in to save people from him.
1 million people.
Right? They're meant to be saving people from Saddam because he's so bad to his people because he's busted at people. Whatever.
He didn't kill 1 million.
No, that's what I'm saying, man. He's mad.
You went into Afghanistan, yeah, and we ain't with the Taliban and all that shit, yeah, but you went in there, you ain't done no business there, and then you just took over the opium.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember looking at like some of the dates and stuff like that. And it was like when America took out the Russians, when Americans took out the Russians from that region, basically at that same time was when you started getting more opioid drugs in America. So it was just like I said the dates just end up lining
They've
up.
always been running the Chinese opium wars. That's what I'm saying.
No, that one is.
But we get labeled as we're just violent and crazy, and these men are doing industrialized warfare.
Oh, and it's like even that. Just mentioned what happened in China. They only the British did that to China because China was like rich at that time for trade, and like and everything they would trade for spoons, silk, tea. There was like we want our payment. So I don't care where you get silk from. Just give us silk. So the British said, you know what? We need to find something that they want. That's gonna have them hooked. So let's get their people addicted to fucking opium.
Satan. These are Christians, right?
Yeah, these are
These are
Christians.
fucking good Christians.
Because at first when they went to see the emperor, he laughed at them. He said, look, nah, we don't need anything. So they culturally subverted.
Love thy neighbor.
Yeah, exactly. And made their people hooked on drugs. And at the same time, whilst they was giving them the drugs, they was destroying fucking India at the same time. Because it was coming from there. And then later on, America got involved in the same training into China.
Well, the American war, if you look at their war in Philippines and the war in Vietnam, and I think the other one was Guam. Those 3 places is known as the heroin triangle.
Yeah.
It's the same
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
man. They were taking control of the drugs, man. And then, when you think about the Iran Contra scandal that came out, Gary Webb, and it's the same shit happening all over again. That they did the same thing they tried to do to the Chinese, they actually did to Jake with the crack epidemic.
And exactly. And what's more interesting about that, the opium wars in China and stuff, is this. Let's go into that. What's more interesting is this, bro. At the same time that was happening, right? Yeah, kind of. Like I was saying, at the same time that was taking place, when Babylon was being built up, like especially like in the 1800s and stuff, some of the first investors in America was the Chinese in the late fucking 1800s, like building the train tracks and stuff. Some of the first investors in America in the 1800s was the same people that was fucking up in China. That shows you Esau is a devil, bro.
And there's so many instances where we can speak about these things where he's done these on the underhanded tactics against Jake here, but then they want to tell you that the way things are in the world is everyone else's fault and they got nothing to do with it. COINTELPRO, you know what I mean? All these different things, and then you get these coons
Also, no, you just got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
Jake,
like that.
yes, Jake does need to take responsibility for their actions, yeah. But then you can't then also ignore that Esau is the devil.
How first of all, how long are these bootstraps? It's like you know what I'm saying? Like because it's not working. It's not gonna work.
Listen, even if you try and do that, Esau gonna try and find a way to take some idiot and put him in power, or you know, because that's what he has done.
Like you know what I mean? If you look at that Jake movie, Will Smith, which is based on a true story.
Which one's a bitch?
Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh yeah.
You see that Jake's life, and how he's trying to find a way, trying to make it work, child, all of this stuff, and then you be like, man, he struggled. But then you step back and be like, it's Esau who created that
whole
situation. You know what I mean? It's Esau that made that him have to deal with what he was dealing
But
with.
even when that's why they didn't give Jake the 40 acres of the mule.
Yeah, because if they
Because
do
they understood that would make them economically independent. And they didn't want Jake to be independent. They wanted, that's why they had the whole sharecropper thing, because Jake was still coming, be independent, and they could come and take advantage of it. And they're still taking advantage of Jake to this day. The whole music industry and everything's about them taking advantage of Jake, but Jake ain't got the money. If Jake had the money and the wealth by themselves, they wouldn't have needed Esau, specifically a so-called Jew, to bankroll the whole operation. The reason a boxer needs a promoter is because the boxer doesn't have money. That's why you will find when the boxer gets to a certain level, they start their own promotion. You know why? Because the job of the promoter is simply to put the money down for the show up front. Because when you put on a show, you need to pay for the ambulance. There's a lot of money that needs to go up front. The boxer, they ain't got the money to pay everyone up front. So that's why you need a promoter, and you're getting your money on the back end. So the reason Jake go into the music industry and they need record deals is because you don't have, you already had like 10 million. You don't need a record label. You could distribute your shit yourself. But Jake was coming from a position of weakness. So then now you got to go to the one who has. And they're like, well, take it or leave it. You want, I'll give you 5% of your revenue.
And that's called a handicap.
Handicap.
Jake is continuously handicapped, man.
Yeah, economically, Jake need, and then even these dudes that so-called get money, these basketballers, they got a way to make them man lose their money too.
And it's the job, yeah, exactly. It's the job of these guys, big money, is to keep you in a handicapped position.
A lot of these men are losing their money because they got Edomite financial advisors that they trust. And they're given immunity to basically get these Jake to lose their money. It's not always gambling and they'll start. Which gambling too is again Esau. Who's pushing gambling on Jake? Every advert, everything is just gambling. Sports bet. It's Esau. He's at the end of the day, it's always Esau. Anyway, but then that don't mean that Jake also don't need to take some kind of responsibility for the action. Now we're telling you he's the devil. Now you got to fix up, look sharp, isn't it?
Psalms 58 verse 1 says, do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do you judge uprightly, O you sons of men? Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth.
Like I think people understate how violent Esau is. Like, yeah, we can talk about World War I or World War II, but then just
that's like a heroic thing, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a hero,
the East India Company.
That's
the East India Company. It's gangsters, bro.
Regime change, regime change is one. But yeah, again, East India Company. Remember, they were simultaneously because it's the East India Company that first went to China. They went there with with the army, and then the Chinese emperor had to around over there. Hold on, look. Listen, man, I got mad. I don't think you're gonna come here. But guess what? That nigga Esau came back. He came back. See, that's the thing with Esau. That nigga don't go away. And so that's what
you find a way, but isn't it?
Yeah, he actually is. You know what I mean? And that's what made.
You got Habakkuk.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? If you look at the structure of Roman army, that's why a lot of nations, they said, fucking hell, these Romans, because even if we win the battle, them niggas gonna come back. They'll regroup, and then they'll eventually win.
Esau ain't left no stone untold on time in the world, man. You know it's bad when you went to the middle of Congo.
Middle of Congo, bro.
It's jungle out there, blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just in the middle of the jungle just trying to find gorillas and shit, man, and diamonds. They even made a movie like that. You got that
Blood
African
diamond
food car. Yo, Esau's done Esau, and the thing is, they try and make it look like it's something in the past. It's not in the past.
It's still
It's still ongoing. It's just that they've established themselves so they have different mechanisms to get the same things done. But it's the same things happening. A lot of these wars that you see happening, who's funding them? Where they're getting these weapons from? Who do you think is the main weapons producers? They even made a movie about it called Lord of War. And they show you like how Esau does things through proxy. What they call it, plausible deniability. That's how Esau operates, man.
I mean, just before we get that verse, you're going to read that. But, you know how you just mentioned the East India Company? And I just said tragedies of the East India Company. And then it just gives me a list, right? Yeah. I mean, it just gives me a list.
GPT just explodes.
Look how long that list is.
Wow.
Look how long that list is. And the first one, it says the Great Bengal Famine of 1770, occurring during the early period of the East India Company rule, as a severe famine caused by drought and the company's it don't say drought. It says the company's exploitative policies led to the deaths of an estimated 1 to 10 million.
You know what? That was something that Esau would do, and that still kind of happens today in a roundabout different way. So what's happening is, usually the way a country is supposed to operate is you have your food production, which produces enough food for your people to eat, and if you have a surplus, some of your surplus you store, but then some of the surplus you sell and trade, so you can get other things that you need. But what's the main thing you'd always do? Feed yourself. You're not gonna sell when you can't feed yourself. But when Esau's in rule, his thing is I need to make my money. So there won't be enough in the harvest. So say there's a little drought and the harvest is low. The normal thing that a country would do at that moment in time is you keep what's yours so that your people could eat. Esau's like, no, bro, you need to sell that. Yeah, because I need to get my pay, and you man, I got to work it out. Same thing happened in Congo. That happened a lot where with the rubber, they would have man there farming the rubber when they would normally be farming food to eat. But Esau don't give a fuck about you eating food. You're going to have to bush me, do what you got to do. I need to get my rubber quota. Hands are coming off. So you're busy getting the rubber quota for Esau to make his money. But so it used to happen on the Caribbean islands. Famines happen all the time in the islands because of the same thing. Another thing they do now is they'll get a country to create a crop like coffee, right, for export, but they're not creating food to eat. So the food in the country becomes expensive because they're importing food but exporting coffee, but they're not making money from the coffee they export because Esau's companies, one, not paying tax, and two, the profits is going to Switzerland somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're in a situation where instead of growing food for them to eat, they're growing for Esau's corporation for them to sell outside. So then that also causes food inflation and famine. But Esau don't give a fuck because the stock price is up, man.
What's it like avocado? Situation in Chile, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, the water. and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Like if you see what they're doing, they're just destroying whole lands and you know what I mean? It's crazy.
But
But
Esau doesn't dwell on his wisdom, man. That's
does-
why he
he doesn't.
destroys everything. Because there ain't nothing wrong with farming avocado and stuff.
Yeah.
Where he goes back, destroys everything, man.
Yeah.
And they'll make sure, and they act like they all got the checks and balances.
Fair
But the
trade.
media will not cover things like this.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about things like this, it's some little off YouTube channel somewhere where you got real journalists doing journalistic, and they'll be going into these things that Esau does. BBC, Sky News, CNN, they're gonna keep going on about Trump farted or Trump said this and that, and they'll get you focused on that. Meanwhile, you got real deviant behavior happening by Esau. That won't make the news. That won't make the news at all. Or if it does, it'll be like once and gone. They're not going to keep throwing it. But if Trump coughs near a woman or he says something about Biden, they're going to have that replaying for the next. It's all that political theater.
Yeah.
So you think that's the only thing that's happening?
But even this, so as you see, like I mentioned, the Great Bengal Famine in 1770. But then it has the Bengal Famine in 1943. So a couple hundred years later, the same shit happened. And it says, don't you think?
Or that's during the war. That's during that's because of Pussy or Churchill. Yeah,
Churchill.
racist.
It says the famine during World War II resulted in an estimated 0.8 to 3.8 million deaths from starvation disease. Its causes are complex, and it says involving the Japanese invasion of Burma, cutting off rice imports. But then also, it says the British policies that confiscated local rice boats and wartime inflation.
So I think it was the same thing for the Irish potato famine as well.
Yeah,
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. They had potatoes, but the British took them.
yeah. but then when these countries and land masses are still destroyed to this very day, it's do you know what I mean? Like
It's third world.
this is third world, isn't it? Read that
Really
really
third world.
Yeah, they've done a lot of things. They were strapping mans to cannons.
Yeah.
Like, they were doing a lot
These
of
was a
madness,
pussy.
man. That's why when they went over to the when they try to paint like what they did over there to the Native American Indians, bro, these men were criminals, bro.
Criminal.
When they went over to Australia, they were hunting the Aborigines. Like they classified them as flora and fauna. You could hunt and kill them. And they had headhunters. There's images of man with all the heads of all the Aborigines that they killed.
Yeah.
Man. These are Christian. These are the people that we're talking about there. Pure badness, them under. Pure badness, like they were on that badness, and then they become sophisticated because they wear a suit, live in a mansion, and the philanthropists. And now we're supposed to believe these are the good guys. They're not the good guys, but
Like bro, like a person can't pick a certain amount of crops of sugarcane a day. So let's just chop off his hand. I mean, how's he gonna pick the next thing? The nigga's hands gone.
How's that possible?
yeah, but Esau don't care about the next thing. Esau's whole spirit is based upon gain and just gain and more gain, and he don't care about people. But then he invented human rights, and this is what I'm saying. This is a mind swaying it, mind games. It's all mind games. This guy don't care about human rights. It's all mind games. He don't care about women's rights. It's mind games. These men are the #1 traffickers. It's all mind games. Children's rights. What? Jimmy Savile and them, man. Mind games. They don't care about all that. Remember, Prince Andrew was a representative for trafficked women. Prince Andrew. Then he had to come off the board after like this mind games, man.
Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also.
Yeah, you Edomites, you poison the minds of people. You poison the minds of people. You weaken them. You destroy them. And then you stand back and when you see man doing madness, go, oh, the same. That's what World Star Hip Hop is all about. And why is there not an Edomite version of World Star Hip Hop? Because there's a whole bunch of Edomites in America doing madness. Yeah. But they don't get a World Star Hip Hop. We have one to showcase the most maddest things that Jake do. And the Esau's all in the comments say, look, see, look, these people, look, man, we helped them, we gave them welfare. Look what they're doing. As if you ain't got no hand in them degenerate Jakes that are running around, like you don't have a hand in their production. You created these people.
Yeah, bro, like that documentary, Crack the Cocaine Conspiracy. I implore brothers to watch that. You know, brothers did many videos on it back in the day. Like if you see the laws, they changed the laws on like how like a certain amount of grams of cocaine is equivalent to a certain amount of crack. You know what I mean? And then Jake was just being whole Jake, her families were just getting put in prison for, you know, like little
tiny bit of coke,
tiny bits of crack that was equivalent to whole pounds and kgs of coke.
Bro, how are you gonna put a man a drug user? Target the drug dealers, but you're targeting drug users, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then it goes back to they had you, man, sucking off Bill Clinton. That's why we're not with the right order left.
Yeah.
They had you, Jake, here, big PR, talking about how Bill Clinton's the first black president.
Oh,
had you, man, noshing off Bill Clinton, and twerking for Bill Clinton. And then Biden, it was Biden and Bill Clinton, which we know that as an individual, they don't write these things, just the elites, They came up with the crime bill, with the 3-strike rule.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's insane, man. Finish that.
And it says,
and it says this, right? So this was the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986, yeah, it says this law established a 100 to 1 sentence disparity between crack cocaine. For example, possession with intent to distribute 5 grams of crack cocaine triggered a mandatory 5-year minimum sentence, while it took 500 grams of powdered cocaine to trigger the same sentence. Now, cocaine as a powder at the time, it was seen as a recreational drug. Yeah, like a recreational drug, like something that was used on like Hollywood parties, so it's like
Wall Street.
yeah, it was Wall Street,
And they admit to that too.
and
The rock and roll.
exactly,
How's that happening?
it's basically seen as something of class. But the thing is that whole time period, they always just put in hella Jake in jail. So sometimes Jake will not have nothing and plant it on him. And even Jake mothers, which is where the whole crack the babies thing came from, they'll go to a hospital like, bro, I need help. And even if she's pregnant, but saying, look, man, I need help. I need to get a team. As soon as she gives birth, they take the child and put her in prison.
Esau Satan.
That's Esau.
And we were having a discussion earlier. The ramification of that is multi-generational.
multi-generational.
And then so I fucking add as well, the thing with America, which is a bit strange in comparison to the rest of the world, the American prisons are for profit, right? Which basically, And right now there's I was watching something, was going into how there was one particular state where there wasn't a lot of crime, right? Now it's in the correctional officers' interest to have the prison at certain capacity.
Yeah,
but because
it's not economical to have
exactly. So then, because it wasn't hitting 80% capacity, basically, there were people get the one guard. Basically, when it is hitting capacity, everyone gets like bonuses and shit like that. So obviously, for them, it's better and more beneficial to be like, oh, he misbehaved, so actually now he's not going to get early release or shit like that.
Right at the time you watch the documentary, even Max would admit, bro, if I used to drive to the hood and get my crack, police would find me and just not arrest me.
Yeah.
Even drug dealers at the time were saying there were people under the force, the police force, they're coming to get their crack and nothing happens to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes they can only
selective enforcement, man.
Two-tier policing.
Real two-tier policing.
Yeah,
and then that whole prison system as well. Them man are in there. That's the hell within hell. It creates demons. Man go in prison, so you got people that are going in prison getting raped. Yeah, that fucks your mind up. You come out after that, you're violent. When you get
when you get taken,
you might become more of a violent criminal than when you coming out bugged out, man, ready to kill. And we've seen that, bro. Man go into pen and come out violent, bro. Bro, I remember one time I was in work, yeah, and you had one Jake come to work in my store, and I'm like, yeah, why are you here? He goes, yeah, him and his girl got transferred because one Jake came out of prison. They gave him a job there, and he was like, the Jake would kind of look at him funny, and he said, man was in the locker room. Jake just came in with a knife, yeah, and tried to shank him up, yeah.
Wow.
Because he's a cage fighter, he said, I managed to disarm him, yeah, and then so they had to move him from that store. From that Jake, because it was getting weak, and I'm like, what the fuck?
That needs to go to jail.
But it's fair, man, like that, because when you're in that place, in jail, ain't no joke. Like in places, you could go in there like a normal individual, and then you just come out because them man in there trying to kill you and rape you all the damn time on purpose. Because the guards don't care about all that. The guards will rape you in there. It's a mad thing.
And it says, I'll read it again, Habakkuk 2 and 15.
That's right.
Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth by bottle to him.
Yeah, everything that you Edomites is about, Christianity, everything that you've given to Jake, the low self-esteem. Now, what do you think it does to someone to constantly write that you're too dumb and everything? It destroys people's minds, man. Esau has definitely destroyed the mind of Jake in America. You ain't edified us. The edification is going to come through this gospel. It's through this word that we're learning that we're more than what you said we are. This is through this word, and when you know that you're more, it gives you the potential to achieve it.
it literally sets you free. You know, this truth actually sets you free. You stop looking, you know, we stop looking at ourselves as a certain way. And then when we start requiring more of each other, right? You know, because always remember, I had my, this kid, he's in bloody private boarding school in Africa somewhere, trying to act bad. Why? Because of the TV, right? So I'm with him now. And he's basically trying to do that whole dumb Jake thing. And I'm just like, bro, we're people of wisdom.
Esau created that. Listen, them stereotypes
Be
were
careful, Esau.
created before they existed.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what man don't understand.
Mm.
That Esau said we were sexual deviants and criminals before man was just sitting there doing nothing. And it's like, that's just who we are. And that was the excuse they gave for Jim Crow and all this stuff. Like, but it wasn't a reality.
Human zoos.
He created this idea of us as being just demon. The term black itself was because they were trying to say that we were just devil. We're devil, we're children of devils. We're just, you know, that's why we have to do this to these people.
And then these lies are shackles, man. This is all part of Esau's slavery that he puts upon us, man. The lies are shackles because we can't be more than what he tells us.
That's it.
Or says we are, you know?
Because what's another thing that he likes to push out in his media, he may have like let's say it's a Jake school or whatever, and then there's one Jake that say he plays the cello, and then he'd be clowns, oh, black people don't play cello. Says who?
And they taught our people that.
Yeah.
So we act like we can't do none of these things. That's why Esau has to pay, because we're an people of excellence, and he cast us down from our excellence. He turned us into base. We're the base people of the earth because of him. He forced us to be base. We didn't go down to be base. He made us base, man. He said, bro, you could go. He said, oh, black people can't fly no plane. Everything that Jake even does today, you could go back to a point in history where it was taught that it was impossible for us to do that because of our brain. They were like, no, man can't be no doctor.
They can't play basketball.
You can't be no doctor, man. You're better Nigerian, man.
Yeah. And guess what? The smartest British family. The smartest British family is a Nigerian family.
And then that's the thing, when Jake does excel in something, man,
I was trying to say it louder.
you still don't respect it. When Jake does excel in something, man,
No,
he doesn't respect it.
No, they don't. They find a way to minimize it and make it look like it's an outlier.
So like as well. So that's one of the things about the whole DEI thing, right? Because that in itself, the way that they played it, basically was a way to pacify Edomites in the workplace. Because you have a Jake that is more excellent than them. They have rightfully gained that position that they're in, but then the rest of the company can just be tired. It's DEI. Everything you imagine, you work hard to be in a certain position just for some 2-bit low-level Edomites.
Well, your paper's worth less than his paper.
Well, that's what the whole thing with the what's it called? In something action, affirmative action.
Yeah.
So then with the affirmative action now, or it didn't really help Jake, because then when Jake goes to these Ivy League universities, first of all, you ain't gonna get the same links, which is what the Ivy League university is really for. Is to join these different brotherhoods and societies so you can get the extra hand. Secondly, they automatically think you don't deserve to be
Exactly.
automatically straight off the bat. So you automatically are devalued in what you get, because they'll just look at you and like, but you weren't supposed to be here anyway.
Yeah.
So you can't win either way.
If we didn't allow you,
I mean, like George Bush can go there and fail upward, and then that's all these Edomites. A lot of these Edomites, they have the ability to fail upwards. Happens all the time. Just look at politics, man. Men just fail upwards and revolving door in and out from one thing to another.
String of incompetencies, and they still get. You know.
So man, this go on, read it.
And it says, and maketh him drunken also.
Right, and that's these degenerates. And we know that even here in London, we got these level 10 degenerates that run around. We know them. We see them. Not every Jake is that level of degeneracy, but they do exist. And we're ashamed of them too. Right? But we're not going to pretend that these, like for instance, you talk about the Windrush. Let's talk about the Windrush, yeah? When these Jakes came over on the boat on the Windrush, these weren't the dregs of the Caribbean society. These were so-called Negroes in the Caribbean that were coming from middle-class families. That's why they could afford to pay for the trip to come to England. And the reason they came to England is because they wanted them to come. They were invited, and they were happy to come. The worst thing about the whole situation is they were very patriotic towards Britain, despite the history. Despite the history of Britain, because of the PR and the propaganda, places like Montserrat, Jamaica, man loved the Queen. They loved Elizabeth.
I'm telling you the truth. They loved Elizabeth. Even to this day, when she died, a lot of our
Violent.
grandparents were mourning for her.
That Nigerian.
They loved the British, like, and when they were coming here to Britain, their idea was to come here, work, build themselves up, and then eventually they was gonna leave and go back home, right? But when they come here, all of a sudden there was a disconnect, because here you were invited here, but then when you come here, you're facing his hostility from the people. You're being treated in a way that you haven't been treated for a long time.
Yeah.
Because in the Caribbean, you weren't being treated like that. Then you come here, all of a sudden you're a nigger, you're this, you're that. Go back home, you're a criminal. You got the sus laws. The Metropolitan Police was going around, and they had the sus laws where they could basically just say, "Oh, a granny told me that they saw you do this," and they just arrest you and put you in jail. And you had police officers that admitted they just was doing that. So they were put in jail unlawfully. Then you got to deal with the EDL man running around beating you up, beating up your children, right? This is known facts. They were
Yes,
they
but
would
like,
beat up children.
but I'm from this area, yeah. But it's not like just for the black people, for the white people as well. Same
What,
thing.
during the Windrush era?
No, I mean like kind of like police, the way they kind of like treat people.
But they don't have the sus laws.
I was
though.
basically like walking over here like for like a couple of months drinking beer with my friend.
Yeah.
And this and that. And one lady, she's I don't know, Middle East or whatever. She's like all of a sudden, I was like drinking beer like in the corner shop over there, and that Indian guy, he knows me for 2 years. Because I have this, I can't allow myself to do that. And that lady, she said like I'm kind of like following her. I'm like kind of like I'm following her kids over here in school and this and that, because I was like walking over here, I have like ADHD.
Yeah.
And they took me like they came to my house like 3 o'clock in the morning. They chased me. They put me like they chased me, and they brought me to the
Without evidence.
without like nothing like instead of like police, like they could like talk to that guy, Indian guy. Who is this guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's another English guy. He's like funeral. He's managing the funeral office over there. They know all of them, and there's like driving school over there. They know all of me, but they didn't ask these guys. Like what's that? Well, like 2 years been okay, and then like all of a sudden, she's like came over out of the like whatever, and like boom, they took me to the to the police office. Yeah. So basically, maybe I'm not in that kind of like sorry guys, but they do this for everyone. They just kind of like what I mean?
Yeah. Of course, they kind of happen. But what we're talking about is going back to the Windrush era. They were specifically targeting the West Indians, and this is where they were criminalizing, because now when you start, the purpose they were doing it for was, if you give someone a criminal record, now you hamper their ability in life to succeed.
Yeah, exactly. That's a serious
Right?
kind
So
of like.
this is why you had a lot of West Indians back then who ended up with a criminal record and are going to jail, and now it's affecting their family life.
But why are they having like criminal record for?
Oh, they were getting criminal records because
For what? For nothing or something?
Yeah, for nothing. If you look it up, it was called the sus laws. So under the sus laws, they could just arrest you just of someone suspecting that you did something.
That's what I'm saying.
And then they actually put them in jail and give them sentences.
This is crazy, man.
And then they would also beat up, say that they would go and do police brutality. And if you fought back against the police,
Yeah.
then they'll put you in jail for that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So you had a whole bunch of people that were going to jail off the back of that, right? You also had the EDL that would roam, not the EDL, they were called the English Front, National Front, the National Front. They were going around beating up people in the skinheads and doing all this kind of stuff. You had the no blacks, no Irish. So we were struggling to find places to rent in that period of time as well, because the locals didn't want to rent places to live. So a lot of Jake ended up living in the old war storm. No, not storm. What's the thing called? Underground.
Shelter, basically
the
shelter.
shelter.
Yeah.
The underground shelter. A lot of Jakes were living in the underground shelters and stuff like that. So there was a lot of things that came.
Now what I'm doing like 10 years, like I'm renting houses and subletting room by room. To all of you, like everybody.
Yeah.
But now what they did like HMO license, they did like prices increased and everything. They did a lot of things. So
Or they're making it harder on small
exactly.
landlords.
And not every council like give you HMO license, even though you have a house and say, okay, I want to rent to the people. They said, no, we're not gonna give you like HMO license. You're not allowed to do like whatever you want. So
Yeah,
where the
yeah.
people should be like saying then?
Yeah, because they want to make it harder for the people. To,
Yeah, but why they putting people in? Like where they putting people? Where these people living then?
Well, ultimately,
Yeah.
ultimately,
Where you from,
yeah, I
bro?
was gonna ask.
Lithuania.
Lithuania.
They're inviting a lot of people from all around the world, right? Let's say, okay, they just like said to you, EU, like fuck off and whatever. So wow, a lot of like Indians and Koreans and whatever coming, but where they have to live?
Yeah, it's a housing crisis.
Exactly, like they did like HMO license, and they increased everything. And I've been doing this for 10 years. I used to have like 20 houses, 30 houses all around East London and some kind of Airbnb business in City Central. But they did HMO license, and then even if you want to like apply for HMO license, they're saying no, man. You're not allowed. Or like even if the big house, right?
Yeah.
Like only like 5 people, they give you only 5 people. So I don't know where is accommodation problem. Here.
So what you're gonna have to do is sell up and then just cut your, get your profits and leave or something.
No, I mean like if you own this property, so you get like license for, or maybe they're not gonna give you license, so you're not allowed to rent the room by room for anybody, even you live by yourself in like 5-bedroom house. This is nonsense. And especially like a Germany, for example, what they did in Berlin, for example, they said like square meter, yeah, there's like price shouldn't be like different areas, not more than the set by government. Because in England, nobody cares. The prices goes like no one's regulating the prices of the see you bye. No one's regulating the prices for the rooms. This is like
What you're basically gonna start seeing is a squeeze coming, right? There's a squeeze, the new rent rules, making it harder for people to rent. What you're also gonna start seeing is a lot of people just leaving the city. Right? I have a lot of Romanian mates, and they've gone back home, all of that sort of stuff.
I mean, like for example, if you wanna like rent a room, right? If you wanna rent a room, and by law, this law was like just came to England like something like 5 years ago. 5 years ago. So basically, if you have a house, you cannot rent the room because you need HMO license because it's multiple occupation. So, but if you want to get an HMO license, some councils they said no, you're not allowed.
Yeah.
So I have my house and I cannot rent my room. What the hell?
Yeah, see what the scripture says. Yeah, it's Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as the chase road, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land.
Yeah,
Yeah, and a lot of people are gonna start leaving this place.
yeah, because it's getting too expensive, man.
No,
And-
even
and-
though yeah, exactly like because like if you want to rent a room through Airbnb, for example, right now,
Yeah.
and it's just crazy expensive, like £2,000 for the room through Airbnb. But for these guys who is doing like business like me and my friends,
But
it's no business anymore.
yeah, because the elites have so long said you shall own nothing and be happy. This life that people have become accustomed to of owning this and doing that. The elites are putting all of that to an end.
The Airbnb bubble is bursting.
Bursting, yeah. It's bursting, right? So it's just a thing of like, you're going to start seeing these economies get worse and worse because what you're talking about, Shalom, because that's how some people like try to pay off their mortgage, right? As an example, they may rent to someone else on a room to someone else. But as we've seen with the energy, the mortgage prices going up, interest rates going up and everything, when people can no longer do that, they now need to get a license. That license gets revoked. What's going to happen? People are going to start losing their houses. And that's what's that going to do. So ultimately, it's going to crash the economy. And you're having a lot of these big major courts buying up houses. So what the scripture says in Isaiah 19, but there shall be no work for Egypt. Man.
No, you know what? Like, but sometimes I'm seeing like in England, like they don't have sense like of what they're doing.
No, they have sense.
No, but sometimes you can
No,
see
it's on
like,
purpose.
they're not getting.
They get it.
Well,
They just don't. They don't want you to win.
Well, prime example is what we see, like the
Oh, they want you.
like amount of
All of us.
empty houses
Yeah.
outnumbers the amount of homeless people.
Yeah.
So they're doing it on purpose.
It's on purpose.
Like it's
Look like, for example, like 5 of us, yeah? We went to rent a house, yeah? No chance. We're just gonna go to it. You can say, hey, 5 of us. We have like, what a no, HMO license, this and that, blah, 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 blah.
Bro, it's just a broken system, innit? It's done.
And what? Yeah, exactly.
It's done. The system's broken. It's gonna be taken out. I have a precept. This is
Okay, guys.
yeah, all right, boys.
Take care, boss. Take care, man.
Take
See
care,
you.
yeah. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's what it is. That's the 30 clips. When they're getting blasted by the smell of yak. Cool, though.
Yeah, but once again, what was
That's
touching on,
probably why I'm drinking, because you can't find renters.
Yeah. what we was touching on earlier on, because you said what Lithuania, it's Eastern Europe. What would Esau tell you? Yeah, you go to Eastern Europe, right?
Bro, them guys live better.
You know,
A lot of them are moving back.
a lot of moving back.
Listen, the fall of Britain has been set up from since Thatcher.
Yeah. I was
You know what
thinking
I mean?
about it.
They got it. The UK, and the only ones that's really been benefiting is the city of London and the people who are invested in the city of London, which is the elites.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, it's all been downhill. It's all been downhill, man. And
Downhill.
the chickens are coming home to roost, and it's not immigrants that's done it. It's the British elite and the international elite that are basically what's the word when you they strip mined the UK, bro.
Yeah.
And they left the people with nothing. They deindustrialized it. They didn't reinvest the money into the public services. They put the money into the city of London, man. And that was it. Speculation.
So
I got a quick one. This is Ecclesiastes 12:3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the abandoned skis because they are few, and those that look out the window be darkened.
The economic forecast is crazy. And then Rachel, every time they have these chancellors, this is what the system does. They personalize things. So it's her budget. It's not her budget. The economic plan for the destruction of the UK was set out from a long time ago. So they just keep getting in a scapegoat to do the next part. Yeah. And then when the next part of the plan is established,
You find many lines here.
what do you say?
Nah, this guy is he was chill.
Oh, okay.
He said like it's wrong or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Now when Rachel,
You know, like see Esau's fruit. You know, remember back in the day, man. Brother's gonna wait for a small hat to walk past the cab. Yeah, come here, man. Let me show you. Read Revelation till
Finish now.
But now
you
you're
got
done.
a water fight or something.
Yeah, like now it's like, bro, just go and eat your chicken. And just
Children,
children. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau's done, bro.
Cool.
Like he's fully exposed. The system's broken, and now you're just sitting ducks for judgment.
exactly.
You know, but it's deep. But remember with what you were touching on before, like how the wind rush and like people, which bro, we probably might have to do a series of
Bro,
it.
people don't realize what they've done to the West Indian Jakes here. What they've done to them, like they came to the UK and they were suffering so much. A lot of them didn't want to go back home because of shame. They didn't want what they were suffering in the UK. They didn't want to go back home and have to be like, this is how we're living and this is what's going on because of shame. You know what I'm saying? Because they were meant to be coming here to flipping head off to the skies.
But it's you don't want that deep, bro, because then that shows you a deeper kind of level of how Esau is still destroying families to this day. Because there's bare Benjamites that I know personally. I'm sure you know, bro. Like there's our aunts and nans that they came here when I was 15 and never went back. They never went back, and it's like now there's like lands and yards that was abandoned. And if now you have their grandchildren want to go back now, half the family is like, who the fuck is you?
They're disconnected.
We man left 60 years ago, and now you're trying to come back and claim land.
Remember that documentary showed me little axe, small axe.
Small acts. They should remember that. You know that series,
BBC,
BBC
documentary,
series that had the mangrove.
Yeah, had Boyega.
Yeah.
John Boyega. It was basically showing you like their ass. I know what it's up. But the point is like that. There's basically a series, a very good series. It shows you like
I think I remember
different
something like
stages of
School
tribulations
system,
of Jake trauma in the UK.
Yeah.
And the one on the Mangrove was like a famous Jake bar in Notting Hill, and it was just constantly you would get raided by the police,
all that.
and then
The
it would
terror.
force it to shut down. In that whole series, and then it even touched on the school systems. You know, what's that term in a school, bro?
Special ed.
Oh yeah, the special school.
Yeah,
They did that.
Yeah, the
They
special.
did the IQ thing again.
Yeah,
Jake.
the
They
IQ
thing.
Yeah.
And another thing they would do as well, when Jake first came here, obviously Jake would be living in certain areas. They didn't like that. So they would take a child. So they say like you got a school and it's like majority West Indian, they would say no, we don't want that. So they would specifically take children and split them up into the different schools, so they would be a minority in the school they were in.
Get bullied in them.
And
I get
bro,
bullied.
so many things that Esau's done against Jake, and that's why Jake has. It's because of the sus laws why Jake act the way they do against the police. Even though we ain't with the way some of these men are acting, there's a reason for it. This goes back into the history. And then the whole Notting Hill Carnival, most people don't understand that they did Jake so dirty in London because Jake come here, Jake was struggling to get jobs. There was a certain point on the underground, because remember, there's bare Jake on the underground now. But remember, the underground was a shit job. It was because of the unions. The Irish and the Jake came together, unionized, and that's how the underground job is a good job now. But the underground job, nobody wanted to do it. Yeah, and Jake was on it. But they used to make sure that only the white Irish could get jobs at King's Cross. And I think it was King's Cross and Euston, I'm not sure if it's both. Because all the Edomites coming in from all over London didn't want to be serviced by black people. So it wasn't that was one of the last stations where they started to allow like black men to actually be in the station at the front of the station, man. And Jake went for a lot of hell in the UK to do anything, whether it's football, John Barnes and all them, man. Man were always catching hell in this place, like from they were children. And then so you gotta look at it now, even with the education thing. That's why a lot of these Benjamites checked out. They absolutely checked out, man. And that's why look, we're the same people. So-called Nigerians and them, man, are the same people. But why are they more excellent in the schools? It's not because we're different. It's because of the culture and the mindset. Because from the Windrush era, man got traumatized by these devils, man.
You know, it's interesting you say.
But then they're turning like that now.
Yeah. But it's interesting. We're gonna get this scripture after Isaiah 14, right? What's interesting is that at the same time you had Benjamin dealing with Windrush, if you had Jakes from Nigeria and Ghana, where they send their kids here to get farmed.
Oh yeah.
And what for brothers in the States, what the process of farming is like rich West African families would send their children here to be with a white family.
Yeah, that actor that happened to that actor.
Yeah, which and the
the movie about it.
That's actually the director
of the movie.
Steve
Steve McCain.
McQueen.
Yeah.
And he's the one that made that whole small accent. Like that episode was based on his experience. So basically, Jake would then lose their culture. It's basically what they was doing to the natives.
Become Lammy.
Yeah, basically lose their culture, turn into an Edomite, and start thinking they're actually like an Edomite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean,
You get bullied into that.
you
status,
get
man.
bullied into that.
You know, and then so they'll act. What point is then? Oh, the carnival. So after all the hell, all the riots Jake had, the riots they had over the police brutality, the riots they had over the unemployment, and then the Notting Hill Carnival was actually something that was given to Jake to pacify Jake. So it's like, oh well, you know, we're giving you this carnival to show that we appreciate you.
Sure.
Basically, and that's what the carnival actually is. The carnival was a way to buy Jake off. Like, have this carnival.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we know we've not given you nothing, we've treated you like shit and all that, but have that carnival. And then look, they're trying to take the carnival away.
Yeah. Despite it being a mass a good contributor to the economy.
Yeah, but when it comes to Jake, it's always going to be the negative side of things, isn't it? But Jake has done a lot in London, man, in terms of working and all that stuff. Like, Jake always wanted to work. And that's the dumb thing. Some of the riots was about unemployment. Jake always wanted to work, man. The so-called West Indian culture has always been about hard work. These new generation youths, they lost the savor for that. Because they seen their parents struggle. What the hell is this, man? I'm gonna get the trap, like. This is some bullshit.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Not condoning the trap, but Esau done our people dirty. Yeah, go on. Man.
It's funny on Reddit. I'm seeing blogs, different titles on Reddit, yeah? And it says like, it's funny. It says what? It says why hasn't the British Empire paid for his sins? And if you scroll down, it says is the British Empire responsible for most of the world's problems? Which that's a good point. It actually is in some rights, you know. And
That's why they're being judged.
yeah.
That's
you
why
know,
the UK is being judged as we speak. Bro.
that's it.
You must approve.
Read back. Isaiah 14,
Starts from that proper king of Babylon.
verse 4. Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how have the oppressor ceased?
Yeah, and who's the oppressor? Like, bro, we're all in the system. We're all oppressed. No, who's the oppressor?
What's the meaning of the word oppression? Well, like we always break down. Oh shit, I thought it was a dare. If you're already in the system that you don't own land, you're already oppressed.
Yeah.
And we're in a system where it's not based upon land ownership. So it's already straight off the bat, it's an oppressive system.
Bro, it's like people don't actually realize how far we are from actual life. It's real life. Bro, it's crazy.
Bro, this guy was just talking about man renting. Bro, in London, man are renting rooms.
Yeah.
For a
Like,
grand,
bro, rooms
for over a grand.
Feudalism.
Like, you know, it's I'm sure, you know, that everyone's different, but in case brothers in the States didn't know, most people in London, bro, have to live at home with their parents or rent a room in another person's house. Like, the housing market here is fucked. Like, and it's, you know, it's interesting. It said here in 1978, I believe, the average homeowner age was 33. Now the average homeowner age acquiring your first property is 56.
Yeah, you've got a lost generation. Basically, you've got a situation now where it's really the older lot that's above 50 that kind of have everything.
That actually benefit from anything.
But same thing's happening in America.
Yeah.
The youth are really dead. They're dead in the water. But it's by design because they could have invested in housing. They could have invested in all these things, but they didn't do. They shut down all the industries. They didn't invest in no housing. Yeah. And they allowed all the public, the social housing to go into the private sector.
Exactly.
And man, I cooked that.
Yeah. And once again, it's just to show you that there is a way to do it right. Right? He knows how to do it right. He just is the devil. Right?
Yeah, that guy said it. Oh, it's
by accident.
they don't know what they're doing.
No,
No,
exactly.
to you, it don't make sense because for what you think the goal is something else.
Mhm.
But when you understand that the goal is to destroy you,
Yeah.
then it makes perfect sense.
Well, it's that saying that I love, man. The purpose of a system is what it does.
Yeah.
So if they keep saying, "Oh, we're trying to make the economy better," but all of their policies appear to make it seem like they're making it worse, guess what?
That's what it is.
That's what they're doing.
That's exactly what it is, man. They putting constraints on the families.
Mm-hmm.
Esau's already made it. We're in the actual. What are them people? What are them people called again? There's a term for it. You know, people that don't have children.
Oh, no. There's actual. Yeah.
Choose to not have children.
I forgot.
I mean, it's a real thing now.
Yeah.
Something.
No. It's a
Incels.
but that's a movement too. The incel movement.
But yeah, I mean, whilst Elder's looking it up, because it's like, how is it that which once again, fuck China, but how is it that in China 90% of people own their own homes?
Yeah. Bro, it's like, again, it's how has Esau is the oppressor.
Yeah.
A house is not supposed to be an investment.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be a home.
And that's one of the policies allegedly, from what I remember reading up and looking into. That's why a lot of Chinese will buy properties abroad, like here, because in China, you're not allowed to look at property as an investment because everyone is supposed to have a home at the very least. Yeah, it's all like flats that burn. 300 people dead in Hong Kong or some shit like that in that little complex fire that they've had, right? But at least someone is, they've got places to live, man. Unlike here, where you're spending like over $1,000 Yeah, can't bring
So
that,
yeah, you got a actual real pressure in the West that a lot of people now don't see the viability of having children, and they're actively deciding that couples, man and woman, getting together and saying, "Oh, we're not having children," and they're getting cats, bro. That's a real thing. Now that's by design because you could have a system where because the system needs it, yeah, to carry on. Because when you get a country that has more old people than young people, it's going to fall, and they want it to fall. They want it. We're in a situation. The pensions are out of control. There's not enough people paying into the system to pay these pensions.
Yeah.
There's a crisis happening.
Yeah.
And there's no the fertility rates is
It's in the mud. It's a lot to come because it's like there's something I look into a lot in it. But it's like when you look, there are certain countries that have less than 100 years left of being a nation. Korea is one of them. Italy, surprisingly, was on the list. Maybe they were like 120, right? Because basically, when you look at total fertility rate, women you need to birth daughters. So if you're not then birthing daughters and stuff like that to in the model of this world's having thing, right? You got certain nations they're done in like 100 years.
Yeah, the UK is one of them. The UK's cooked, and then the Edomites are complaining that it's getting taken over.
It's really migrants that's keeping
it
UK
up.
alive.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because they not having no youths, man. But that's all about
It's migrants and Benjamin keeping it alive.
pumping out. Listen, bro. This because there is a listen. Having youths in this society.
Can I grab this real quick?
There's brothers here that have youths here. It's a massive expense, and it's a massive expense just to have them. Forget about actually giving them a helping hand in life. Forget about getting them ballet lessons or piano lessons or anything like that. Just to have them and just send them to the school and give them the bare minimum, which this is not really even raising a child, really. Then
I will be honest with your daughter's birth. I was like, let me look up baby piano lessons. It'll take you £5 an hour, bro. I was like,
got a rich uncle.
I was like, Salat, bro. I can't.
Rich uncles.
Can I grab this? Can I grab this? It says Psalms 127 from 3. It says, "Lo, children are an heritage of Yahweh, and the fruit of the womb is his reward."
It's interesting because it speaks about how the principal things of this life, food, what we eat, and that. Well, one principle of life is children.
Yeah.
and children are demonized.
Children, bro.
Children are
People
demonized.
demonize children. Even though when you're on planes, you get that child. It's become a trend to just
hate on children.
children.
It's not supposed to be like that, man. But Esau's created a system where children are burden upon burden.
Now, if you have a child yourself,
because
you're bringing them into a bad world.
People say that. And then also then you get the ones that are like,
selfless.
They're like
They're celebrating on TikTok.
No, they're people that basically say if you're basically you're damaging the earth because of global warming, some dumb shit like that. So what?
Bro, there's a movement of these, and they're coping really, but there's a movement of women online who are celebrating that they don't have kids because they're free to do whatever they
and
want.
you can see the pain in their eyes,
and they're coping.
You can see the pain in their eyes, bro. Chelsea Handler,
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah.
Now she's saying, man, I fucked up. Because you know, that's why you women are stupid. Yeah, you see that old bitch on like an Instagram or posed up. Oh, she's slaying it. It's slaying. She's winning. But then she'll tell you, no, I'm actually depressed because I didn't have children in my 30s.
Yeah, because she cries herself to sleep.
Good.
You gotta. Yes.
But the young people now, you see, it's even worse for them because they are broke.
Exactly.
The truth of the matter is, having a child now isn't even it used to be a ticket to. It was an easy thing. You just said, you breed up a girl, she's gonna get a spot here, and then you get a spot because she got a spot. Like, come on, let's keep it real. That's what man will do. It. You breed up the girl, she's gonna get a council flat, and then you just don't put yourself on the books here. You're not around. The dad's not around. But man is there. He's in the yard, like playing PlayStation. You know what I mean?
Got food in the microwave.
You know what I'm saying? But now it ain't like that. If you're gonna get a council place, it's gonna be South End or something. Like they're not. It's not that easy to get no council place no more just for breeding. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it is literally not a man now. Like how do you even get a yard? So what you're gonna? This ain't Puerto Rico, blood. You can't be in your parents' house. We're having
Yeah.
Having 3 generations in a house, not in the UK.
Think was a term.
Dinks, yeah, the dink thing.
Yeah, dual income, no kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
the dink is a major thing in London right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's serious. Or you got the people that are saving up to have a child.
And
They want to get the house first.
Time runs out.
42. Yeah.
Oh no, I still got more if I can.
Okay.
It says, as arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of what? The youth.
Because even that, but even from a financial standpoint, there was a time where the more children you have, the more you expand wealth. Because, like, for example, in certain lands, it's a common thing to have farm. You have farm, you have land.
But again, then what you're really doing is producing labor for your own resources.
Your
But if you're in London, you got 12 kids, you ain't got a land for them to work. with. They're probably going to be 12 unemployed youths asking you for money.
Yeah.
That's this is mad.
Industry really starts off with a family. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
economy.
Like, yeah, exactly. House management. You know, it's sort of like how you have so and so and sons.
Yeah.
These are businesses, and that's it's built on a family. Like, for example, like you actually might have a family of butchers.
Look, farm. Yeah, the
Family of-
farms used to be run by families.
family,
Yeah.
but now it's migrants. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no, your kids, when you have a child now, they're an individual.
Yeah.
They're a literal individual,
Individual.
and they need to get a qualification and hope that someone gives them a job. And that's the reality, because in this society, we literally are human resources.
Yeah.
Now, you want to go do the TikTok thing and all that, that's fine, but everybody can't make money on TikTok. Like, the reality is, the reason why the world is fucked here is because we're all serfs. And we're relying on a system to give us something to do. We don't have the ability to work our own land because we don't have our own land.
Yeah.
We're fucking serfs.
Yeah, so it says, happy is the also says of the youth. His base is like, he has made it such that people shook, not just shook, but they demonize having children at a young age.
Yeah.
I think it is the first, last year was the first time the average age of
yeah,
first.
yeah.
But I mean, guess what? The system is not
Exactly.
advisable. Listen, bro. Teenage pregnancy is a one-way trip to fuck your life up, hoodie.
In this
It's
world,
just in this world, the teenage pregnancy, you fucked.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a young man, the last thing you want to be doing is having no youth when you're 15, bro. You're cooked. What the fuck are you doing, bro? Bro, and the system doesn't work for that. All that.
Well, especially for men,
Especially
because if you're a gal, you won't get a council here.
you used to, yeah.
Yeah.
But then even then, you'll be living council life.
The council life and are forced to just be
So
broke.
basically, you're poverty. You're
Yeah.
in poverty.
You're
which is
basically
most of
poverty.
it.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's
still fucked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fucked.
Yeah.
Fucked.
It's true. The way the system works now, bro, they've pushed the ability for you to have a child way back to the point where your ovaries don't work.
Yeah.
That's the reality, because if you're now growing up in London now, when I look at it on a logical sense, like, does it make sense even having a youth at 25 when you're broke?
You know, it's interesting, bro, because obviously, we're like not that far in age, right? But even for the gap that we had, obviously, I remember when I was like, let's say 16, 17, people your generation and stuff, it was common to have youths.
Yeah.
And even in just short time, bro,
It's completely changed.
obviously, I was really around the same age, bro. A lot of our generation ain't even having kids.
No.
Like, bro, I'm seeing, how many people who are 30 they're just now taking a picture of like an Instagram with the pregnancy,
Yeah.
the scan. Like, you know how many people, like, it's common from if you look at our age to this brother's age.
Yeah. That's
When
the
we was
point.
16, bro, we used to see you, man, with kids, like, 24, having a Focus,
Yeah.
Focus and shit.
Yeah.
But now, it's like,
It's cooked.
we're now 30s, and bro, we're not even seeing.
That's gonna work 60 hours. Bro.
Yeah.
No time for all that.
Yeah.
And
Bro, childcare. Just a simple thing of like, you got to work and your woman's got to work here, and childcare is costing man.
Yeah.
Another.
But and it's so because there's so much that goes into that, because like he has made it such that you can't grow up in the same, you can't move into a place near your parents anymore, right?
Yeah.
So like before, you could have been like mom
Down
maybe
the road.
like down the road, you could call, and now he's made it so expensive that people are having to go to a commuter belt. And now even in the commuter belt, it's like, well, your mum's in Tottenham somewhere. Like,
Pay for after school club.
Yep.
And pay for breakfast club and all this shit.
I have a quick one. This is Proverbs 29:2.
Mm.
When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn.
That's it.
And that's the way of mourning. Now, if you go into the word mourn, right, it says to sigh, right, in pain or grief, to gasp, you know. So it's like, bro, everyone has something to complain about in the system.
Well, remember that time that it was black woman, she did that thing where she was saying she was earning like 120 grand or something.
yeah, no,
Single mother. And then man's like, how can you, they was bunning her out. Like, how can you be struggling and you're on 120K? And she was like, breaking it down. Like, bro, my childcare costs like 5 grand or some shit. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like the tax is taking 40%.
Yeah.
So even now they've made it in the UK. People think that it's actually insane. You could be on 80K, brother. You're still breadline.
yeah,
Because if you're not in public housing,
yeah,
you're paying over 2K for
yeah,
your rent, bro.
yeah. And yeah. And you know, as you was talking, what I was thinking as well is like, let's say, you know, there's this thing about, you know, you get money when you're older. You know what would help then with the fertility? Being okay with people being okay with an older man being with a younger woman. But guess what? That's demonized.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that's what it was in the ancient world. It would be an older man, you know, that would take the, you know, a bit more established stuff.
You're demonized.
Which would actually, long term, it would actually put his whole line in a better financial situation later.
Exactly.
What would really help is if the fucking money weren't being fucking valued. But you see, anyway, let's keep
let me
it
finish
going.
this.
It's fuckery, but the whole thing, and they'll make it look like there ain't no other way, and it can't be no other way. Like, it's just bullshit, bro. The whole thing is absolute demonic, like.
Yeah. Says, happy is the man that hath his quiver full of, Psalms 127:5. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate.
Yeah, but now, bro, you're cooked, man.
Like now you're like scared to go raw.
That's a God given right as well.
I'm not even like that for real now.
God,
man find out their woman's pregnant. Yeah.
Morning and work.
Yeah. You already know, blood.
Especially if you have moles. I mean, bro, you should be popping them abortion pills like.
But that's why the abortion thing and people get.
Bro, I've seen it.
Don't want the stress,
Bro. Bro, I'll say to a family member of mine, like, bro, keep the child and both. Man.
He did it.
Came like,
On to the next.
let's go. Finish like abortion.
Yeah. Benice got to pay for that, man.
He's gonna pay for
He's
it.
good, yeah. Mass murdering. Well, you know.
It's anti-life, basically. Admit it, like you said before. A certain level. So why isn't that happening?
Exactly.
Which that's interesting. That's actually not, like when people speak about not having kids in the system, it's always mentioned as like a benefit, but no one actually has said. So what happens in 100 years? No one actually. That conversation never comes up. You know,
Unless you listen to the Hebrew Israelites.
Just serfs, and the amount of serfs you need is just based upon how they system. So life ain't working for the people are working for life. Like this is ridiculous. So now we're in a situation where they don't mind because they want to depopulate anyway. Because they don't want you to have a life. You only exist to serve them. So if they have no use for you, they don't care if you disappear. That's why they're getting the AI and the robots and all that stuff. So they don't need you. So as far as they're concerned, if they don't need you to work in their factory, the blood clot.
Back in Isaiah 14:4. But thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressor seized the golden city seized? The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
what's that golden city, man? Babylon, man.
Pinnacle of oppression.
The pinnacle of oppression. cocaine spreader of that wine.
And you know what funny thing is? I was listening the UK, a lot of man romanticize America because obviously the UK is down bad. It's like there's no social mobility period, like for most people. Like I think America's a lot better, which is not. There isn't a lot of social mobility in America either. Moses, it's not. The opportunity is a slogan, yeah, but like it's not that much opportunity in America as it is. Like most people are not just going to America and becoming millionaires or something like that.
You think, bro?
Most people that are working class in America stay working class, and that's the bottom line.
There's which called the elder from North Carolina.
Hey, shalom, man.
Said the average rent in America is approximately $1,700, including lights, water, etc.
Bro, fuck this system. Which is why, man, like, look, man, brothers, we do what we got to do. We take care of our responsibilities. But, bro, our mind is not here. Bro, like, the amount of debts we got, we're just waiting on the Lord.
You might just end salvation.
Shit,
I'm depressed.
That's what people are doing. People are ending it.
Hey, well, it's common.
Out on the cost.
That's true. And a lot of men end it because men feel the financial. Like obviously, women. There's a lot of women out there. They catch help. Yeah. But as a man, men hate not being able to solve things.
Provide.
Like men, like it's a man. The way men think is about solutions. And you know when a man can't find a solution, nothing's worse. It's true. This the way a man thinks is like how. It's a problem and you can fix it. I don't know. There's some women feel good cooking and cleaning and social things. We don't care about social shit. We care about fixing shit. Like the garage needs fixing, and then you fix it. You're like, yeah. So when you got a financial problem, a lot of men like that's why you see men struggle. You get men that lose their job and they're in financial problems. They don't even tell their wife like they're fucked. They go to the pub. They pretend to go to work, like. They pretend to go to go work here, but they ain't got a job. And they internalize it, and I've been there. Like when you can't provide for your family, and you got that kind of situation going on, you could feel like you're in the dark, the sunken place. And as a man, women struggle with that, but men, because we're designed to be that problem solver, it gets to man even worse. And that's why these men go jumping off bridges. They fucking jump in front of trains off the back of finances. Finances kill.
There's a particular migrant app, which one chick that I was talking to, she actually had like seen them over time. And basically he said it is better for his family back home to think that he's dead than for him to be here and not be able to provide something back for them. And that's why he was just out there on the streets, just like chilling. He wasn't able to get a job or anything, but I was like, look, it's better for my family to think I died, man. I can't help it.
You know, the hopelessness, man. And that's what this society brings to a lot of people, man. A lot of people got mountain debts, man. A mountain of debt. Because they've been living off debt. They've been living off credit cards, living off loans. Yeah, especially in the West, man. In the West, where we live off debt, off credit cards and Klarna.
You know what? The situation. I paid for something. And I didn't realize I didn't click pay. I'm pissed. I wanted to I was hurt, bro. I was like, oh,
cancel that, bro.
I can't. It's coming Monday, isn't it?
Turn it and buy it. That's crazy. Just tell the seller, let's put it up here. I won't return it. Put it up here.
I'll buy it again.
Yeah, I know them ones. Yeah, it's a real, bro. There's a lot of people that have got a mountain of credit card debt, a mountain of student loan debt, mountain of all this, that, and the other, man. Just drowning in debt from just the hell collapsing over on, man.
And when you look and you walk around, you're just like, people, you see them smiling, especially around there, you see them smiling and stuff, but like most people are hurt out here.
Car finance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro? It's a serious thing out here, man. And it's getting worse and worse. That's why the clubs, man, ain't going clubbing no more. Because, bro, who's got money like that? Only the drug dealers can go clubbing, blood.
Yeah.
They can afford to spend some of their re-ups, blood. Like, youths, and it used to be that the youth used to drive the pubs and that. But they're finding that here in London, like no man's going to the pub like before, no man's going to the clubs because ain't nobody got £200-300 to spend on a Friday night. No, it used to be man used to do that. Man used to go out like and get plastered on their credit cards, everything. Man spending £200 on a Friday night, £200 on the Saturday night. Bro, ain't nobody got time to. You go in a club now, you buy one drink, it's gonna cost you like £15 for a double. You take your woman out these days, like no. You take your woman out, you need to use Klarna and that.
It says, "The Lord have broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke."
And bro, even obviously, we can talk about the physical side, invasions and that. But one way is you got a continuous stroke. You know what I mean? Like that is a continuous stroke, man.
IMF.
The IMF,
The World Bank.
economical hitmen, regime changes. Country,
And it's all fake on top of that.
it's all fake.
And then his
Land masses.
his propaganda as well on top of that, and him being beautiful. You got whole nations bleaching themselves
Yeah.
because of that.
Hey,
You
it's a
know.
real thing. Hey, listen, man, this is the Jamaica, the islands, Ghana, Congo.
Fucking Koreans, Chinese. They're like skin whitening is big over there.
You know.
Though,
This devil.
yeah,
And then being a blonde is an unclean leper, bro. It's just smart.
When you look into the word
Man made a song. This is just think of so demonic here, man. Carter was a real demon, but he's lost the source. You could see that he ain't. His spirit's gone. Them
Now-
demons left him.
now he's dealing with lupus, bro. Look at that nigga.
What they used to be. Yeah, looking like a demon.
Like a migrant.
He who smote the people with in wrath with a continual stroke.
Yeah.
He that ruled the nations in anger.
Continue stroke, man. He don't stop. He don't stop. There's always a plot going on, man. There's always an agenda. There's always this. And as once again, as Mark, it's all by design. Esau did to Jake was all by design to this day, right? And that's
Even the Ukraine war, we spoke about what's happening in Ukraine, how it's just a massive redistribution of wealth.
Yeah.
They've managed to convince all these European nations and America to put a certain amount of their GDP towards the military-industrial complex. It's a redistribution of wealth. And then on top of that, like they're doing all kind of money laundering over there in Ukraine anyway. It's a design thing, man, and they're still milking it. It's ongoing. It ain't ended yet. They could have ended. East already, but they're gonna prolong it because they're making money from it, and the people are suffering. Then they'll turn around and try and target like a mother with 3 kids getting child benefit. The man are just slinging money to Ukraine like it's nothing.
like
It's insane. And if you notice that the same thing that's happening in America, where they were trying to put all the stigma on the EBT people, as if the people with the EBT people are the ones that are taking all the money. Me away with murder, bro. The bank bailouts and all that stuff. The amount of money they've been throwing at the rich people, man, the CARES Act. But then everyone's looking at the people on welfare as being the poor people are the problem. Same thing they're doing in the UK now. Now it's all about the child benefit. Oh man, yeah, they ain't working and they ain't doing it.
oh yeah. Okay, how is it that and it's goes show people just that they see online. Nobody's talking about how is it that a mother with like 3 children basically gets more than minimum wage, right? In terms of benefits. Like, okay, cool. Once again, the system is designed in such a way where, let's say you did want to go to work,
You wouldn't get this. It wouldn't be worth it.
you immediately
No.
it's
I was in that situation because I was on a universal credit shit, yeah, because my woman, I wasn't working at the time, so to supplement paying for my rent and shit, I had to jump on the universal credit. But there was if my woman went back to work, right, there was only I had to look for a specific salary because if the salary weren't enough, I was gonna lose the universal credit. But I was so basically she can't help my kids. What was the point? If we're gonna sacrifice the kids, man. You know what I mean? The money, man. Sacrifice the woman being available to the kids for childcare and all that stuff, then it has to be worth the money that you're gonna get on top to do things for the kids. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why, I always talk about that situation when before, my lady had children, I told you she was like, come here and work. I advised her to work a certain job because I'm like, yo, we need money. If not, you cook.
Oh, yeah, it's true. So there is a situation where there's certain people that's on universal credit that unless they can get a job that reaches a certain amount of money, losing the housing benefit and all them things is not worth it. But then you have to be in a situation to get that kind of. You can't just go Asda and do a little part-time job and expect that it makes your life any better. Well, whose fault is that?
Children with certain younger age as well, right? You then it's like, okay, so now you got to pay for nursery.
Yeah.
So now you got to pay for this. Now you got to pay for that.
Recognizing those people though, but then the actual people fleecing the country, fleecing the CEOs for the energy companies that were fleecing the energy. Them man are not demonized, but you want to demonize. The system's crazy. As if all the money is going to the poor people will be rich, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Not to the bottom.
Yeah, I always remember there was one guy. He was based and then and then in the house we got like a 70-inch TV.
Yeah,
and then
you're paying it free, man.
But bro, no, it was worse than that. But then it was like, yeah, but bro, you're going on a holiday with your family in a few weeks. That's gonna cost you like $5 grand.
Yeah,
and that's just one holiday.
Yeah, but
in one. Exactly.
What about corporate welfare? Man, these at Starbucks weren't paying no tax. Amazon ain't paying no tax.
Yeah.
Man, get the hell out of here, man. But this is what the media does. They'll get you to point the finger at poor people and immigrants for why the working class or the middle class are having it hard. When the actual problem is the elites.
That's it. Yeah.
That's who the issue is, because they're the ones that doubled their wealth during COVID. You know what I'm saying? Them out, or in their assets. And man's worrying about the single parent mother who can't even afford to take her kids down. Bro, the average flipping person on universal credit cannot afford to take their 3 children down to central London and go to Trafalgar Square, go up in the gallery and eat and go out for that day. No, it's not happening. Because the amount of money it takes, they don't go there. Is they're going on that man on benefits and just living the fucking life.
Yeah.
Bro, do you know how much money you need to a day out if you got 2 kids?
Yeah. Aside from that, even going holiday, like so cool. Man,
forget about it.
Man, I told my lady, I said, look, man, as long as the children are under 2, right, so when they get over 2, that's it.
Free.
That's it. Because obviously my daughter, obviously, we checked the ticket for Ghana for her, 500.
Wow.
500 for her.
Well, I don't know. Put it on the carrier.
Put in a suit.
They want you to target. They want you to they want the middle class and the working class and all the lower classes fighting each other. Meanwhile, the elites are just chilling.
I got precept, Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Yeah, and then people don't ask themselves here, if the government has all this debt, who do you think they owe that money to? They owe it to the rich. They owe the money to the rich, and then the rich are not paying taxes. So the rich are making money on both sides. Not only are they not getting taxed, but when you don't tax them, the money that they're earning, they take and lend to the government. So now they're earning interest, bro. It's a dope thing, bro.
We got a precept. This is Proverbs 29:7. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it.
Yeah, like Esau don't give a shit, bro, in this system, bro.
He don't want a system. He wants the welfare state. He don't want people. If you wanted people to be strong and independent, you would implement the biblical economic system of land ownership. You would implement the biblical system where poor people have without interest and with the jubilee. That this reduce poverty. It's the biblical system. They don't want that.
And guess what? You can have that system and still be at the top.
Yeah, obviously,
Like,
you still have rich people.
Like you could, like it's like if Esau implementing that system, the Rothschilds can still be the Rothschilds. Whoever's
They just won't be multi-trillionaires.
Yeah,
But
and
so what?
But guess what? You still have the status. Like,
still-
it's true. It's like you know with wealth, yeah. It's like it's sort of like it gets to set. There's a level of wealth
That
where
more wealth doesn't make a
it doesn't even make a difference. Like your money, like I can still buy the expensive butter. Like I can still buy.
Yeah. There's a documentary where they talk about the secret system in London for the billionaires. But London's got more billionaires. I didn't even know this. There's more billionaires in London than any other city. And they have their own network of how they eat, yeah. And there's man that's selling cups of coffee for £300 per cup. What? Cup of coffee, they sell it to the billionaires, £300. When I find the documentary, I'll send it to you, man.
Process that.
Like, bro, even you get fruit, yeah. Sometimes the fucking avocados, like, there's only ones that only. And every time I ask, so how much is that box of avocado? They're like, yeah, it's £50. I'm like, can't. I'm gonna get that other one. You know what I'm saying? It just shows you, man. Okay.
Exodus 22:25. If thou lend money that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay.
It's like amongst us, because on the heathen, man, you can set usury. You know what I mean?
Neither shall thou lay upon him usury.
Yeah, because like, bro, like he's like again, like there's people that can afford to pay borrowed, but then if you slap interest rates on that on a mad thing, bro, people like you remember back in the day, which I'm sure they still got, like the payday loans.
Oh, 39.9% APR is
Sometimes
diabolical.
50.
Yeah, the payday loans is like it's thousands.
Thousands.
But the general credit card 39.9% is diabolical.
You fucking overdraft. Like,
Yeah.
pay attention.
Yeah. You only get what 3%?
Yeah.
Maybe on a decent savings account.
Yeah.
And guess what? If you earn over a certain number, then Esau's like, well, income tax now. You're earning the interest, and now he's taxing the interest that you earn on money that you already paid tax on to put into your savings. So you're paying tax several times over on the same money.
Well, verse 26. Well, verse 26 says this: if thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that, bro. Right?
Thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down.
Yeah, like if you how can a man pay you if you take his last, bro? His last.
This system is literally designed for the rich to always, just like the rich are always there when there's opportunity.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they got the disposable income to take advantage. It's just designed that way. But like I said, there is a way. But there is an economic way which is written in the Bible. So, but right now you can't implement that because it would crash everything. Really, we're in a situation where it has to go into chaos, and it has to be a massive reset. That's the only way to fix everything. You can only fix the world right now. The world's so far gone that there's death and destruction to reset the whole thing, to implement the way it's meant. The Most High is going to do, because you couldn't. The whole system would collapse if you tried to give everyone land and that. How would you even do that, blood? It's madness, like, because everything's all mad. So bare man after dead, bare gal after dead.
Reset the team
and reset it up, man, and then we'll start from fresh, innit? Esau get the pits, and that's that.
For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin. Wherein shall he sleep? And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me, but I will hear, for I am gracious.
That's right. Let's go back Isaiah 14.
Huh?
Yeah, we close up in a bit, so I want to run back through that 31. We didn't even finish it. We went way off. Man. Hey, the Baconites had to get it. I can't help it.
Down. Isaiah 14 verse 6, and it says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger.
And who is that? Like, you see, you know what's funny about, I say this as a statement, but you know what's funny about the scriptures? Like, people always describe the scriptures as it's a myth, it's just a lie, it's a myth. But the more as the times are ending, you read it, it comes more real. Like, who's ruling the earth in anger? Who's the face of violence?
Who's about to start bombing Venezuela? And everyone knows it's for greed.
Yeah. Who's about to save the innocent Christians in Nigeria? That's going to come with a gun. You know what I'm saying?
You care about Nigeria.
You care about Nigeria so
Wait,
much.
I thought you don't even want them in the country,
You don't
so
want
why?
them in the country, but the Nigerians.
Well, just like now they care about the Christmas trees. They're calling them evergreen trees. Is that, bro? You don't even know one scripture, man. Shut up. You fucking Baconite, man.
Baconite, man.
You're talking about Christmas and you don't even know one scripture. Man, this is a Christian country. Bro, if you done Baconites and everything, you would know that a Christmas tree actually is an evergreen.
Yeah.
And the Christmas tree is actually not rooted in Christianity at all. It's rooted in paganism.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
moron.
You morons. Fucking bacon.
Muslims taking over. Like, what are you talking about?
And it says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
Yo, when we start get them bull buds, we start whipping you Edomites up in the kingdom, start terrorizing.
It's gonna be sweet.
No one's gonna come to your aid. In fact, your fellow serfs, are gonna low key when they're getting beat, they're gonna be hurting. But then when they see you get beat, they're gonna be pussy, because they ain't gonna know that ultimately you led the world into this judgment. You was at the forefront with the heathen behind you saying, march forward. You brought the world to the great judgment that is coming at. You did. And you single-handedly did it. You created the nuclear weapons. You started World War I. This is all your mechanization. You've actually led the world to this point. Single-handedly. Ain't no one else done it. The MOTB, it's all you, baby. It's all you. So take the credit.
Verse 7, the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come upon us.
Now, does that mean we ain't going to cut no trees down in the kingdom? No. But what it means is Esau's created such a consumerist, wasteful society. And there's actually nothing more wasteful than war, by the way. War is the most wasteful thing you can have. So any society that is constantly at war is constantly wasted, because war does not create. War destroys. War consumes resources. That's why is it J.K.? No, not J.K. Who did Lord of the Rings? Tolkien. The orcs. Tolkien wrote that book coming out of the World War. So the whole situation in Middle Earth and the orcs was all an allegory for war. It was the Lord of the Rings is actually an anti-war book, and the orcs represent war, a war to Edomites, warlike people that are bred for war. And they showed you, if you watch the movie, I believe it's the second one in Mordor. All you see is man cutting down the trees. They were deforesting for what? For war. It was all just to just do more. And then when they had the war, what did they do? Destroy it. That's Esau. So Esau is the number one polluter on the planet Earth is the United States military. All that money, think of it, all the money from the US budget goes into war. It goes into bombs. And you need resources for that. Resources are being consumed in the earth for the American war machine, and it's a massive machine.
And what the elder's touching on is in terms of that point on resources, is a lot of these advanced weapons need very specific minerals, right? So that's why then what they do, they go create more war in countries where that have those minerals so that they can maintain a monopoly on them, right? So then what you call a lot of every single chip has like say gold on it, right? But then when you're talking about high strength motors, you need I think it's what neodymium, something like that. Basically you need what they refer to as rare earth minerals,
Some witchcraft, let's say.
right? Yeah, you need what they refer to as rare earth minerals, and the reason why they're called rare earth,
So they're rare?
no,
Why they?
because they're very hard to obtain,
Okay.
i.e., very polluting to obtain.
There you go. Yeah, they say that it's a fact known that the United States military is the #1 polluter on the face of the
Yeah.
planet Earth, and it's a massive mechanism that consumes a lot of resources. And then we're not even going to get into the consumerism that the West has created,
Mhm.
the useless products that just get produced all the time. Fast fashion.
Yeah,
Fast
yeah,
fashion
yeah.
is also destroying the Earth. You know, so that's one of the reasons why it's saying the fir trees are going to be at rest, because we're not going to be consuming for the consuming sake. Esau set up consuming for the sake of consumption so he can enrich himself. Go on.
God. It says, hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It have raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, and they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of our
Yeah,
vows.
so when it's come, you know, like time for you to get persecuted, no one's gonna care about you.
Yeah.
No one's gonna have mercy.
You ain't gonna have no friends,
Yeah,
Esau, because
yeah.
you're just you'll be hateful.
You're just a fat nigga, man. Like, you just got an insatiable fucking appetite. But for
On Twitter, just wild.
and sometimes I catch myself in them debates, man.
But Esau's on Twitter wilding,
Yeah.
bro, on
You see the one
everyone.
I sent you on fucking Anthony Joshua?
Oh yeah, I actually saw that earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I don't like.
You know, it's funny, yeah, because one of my managers at work, you know these bacon nights. He actually looks like a hog. He was like, oh yeah. Oh, that's why I can't wait for him to fucking lose. Even the other day, someone was saying, I hope Jake Paul just fucking knocks him out. And I said, why? I said, because he said about don't invest in white businesses. And I said, bro, when did he say that? I was questioning him. I said, I want you to prove it. Show me where he said that. And then after you have to be, all right, well, you didn't say that, but you said, what if I was
Listen, it's too late. AJ already took your money, man. Took your money and your girl, man. Finished, bro. Hating because your wife likes him, though.
Yeah.
Big AJ, blood. The landlord, blood. You know me? They hurt, blood. You know, just worship AJ. You know.
Yeah, because a couple years, that's hey, fucking bacons, bro.
Yeah, man. Just worship AJ. You know you
Hate
want
these
to.
bacons, man.
You know what I mean?
Let's finish this.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
That's that pride, man. That's that pride. No one's more proud than the Edomites, man.
That's why in the kingdom, man, we're gonna be the lowest to the low.
This is great, bro.
There's nothing great here, bro.
Yeah, it's
The
done.
only thing that you got great here is great hogs.
Great misery.
Yeah, great hog misery, man.
That's it.
And the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
Yeah, your whole infrastructure
done.
So it messed up.
corrupt, bro. It's done. Like
Yeah.
like in London, like especially like the train stations, the undergrounds. It's the way it was built. It was built in a like a limpid way. So like unless you break down the whole system,
Yeah.
you have to just maintain the same shit.
Yeah, but then once again,
So like we've been around.
yeah.
Certain other countries, they're
Bro,
railway
China
system
and they're in engineering.
so
I was actually watching a
engineering is
video on it
advanced.
yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the engineering that's going on
Yeah.
over there in China and that,
Yeah.
it's
The engineering
it's next
is mad.
level.
It's next because that's what I was gonna add.
But then where's all the money gone? The thing is,
Yeah.
you gotta ask yourself then, what's happened in the West then?
Corruption.
Nothing.
They didn't give a damn, blood. They just took all the money,
Yeah.
like all that
Nothing
iPhone
sounds-
money, all these companies, big mega corporations, yeah, that have been making all this money, and you're blaming you're blaming the other countries, bro. It's your companies.
You did.
The profits was iPhone and Amazon. They've been making crazy money, man. So why is America cooked?
That's it.
And you think Trump's changed that? Trump ain't changed that.
Didn't change nothing.
Exactly. Because so that's what I was gonna say earlier on. It's just like, look how much it's because of all of the corruption here, right? Let's say that was a genuine project. It's like, all right, look, man, the current system it ain't gonna expand, whatever, what have you. We don't know if they were gonna do another Elizabeth line that will take 20 years. We know that it's gonna be 50 times over budget, right? Because there's no accountability for anything that happens here. In certain, that's one of the things I read it. I'm not verified. Well, to fact check it. But like in China, if you get done for corruption, you're done, right? In America, there was a Senate hearing. I sent it again the other day. In America, there was a Senate hearing, and it was a bag of bushels, right? Just some mechanical pieces that you need to have, like bushels, right? A little bag like that, $90,000 for something that you could go a petrol station and buy for like $3.
Bro, this guy
Corruption.
that they worship, this guy Boris Johnson, yeah, the Millennium Dome. The Millennium Dome, yeah, was way over budget. Man. And what was it really? What is the Millennium Dome? The Millennium became the O2. What? That was a scam. Then he had a bridge that he got appraised, and they pumped bare money into appraising it, and it never got built. This guy Boris Johnson, they keep calling about Khan because obviously Khan's an immigrant, so it's easy for them to get on him, yeah. But these men have been fleecing this place. Yeah. The Elizabeth line was late, yeah. The man Khan and them man turned up 2 months before, and then when it was late to release, because they'd already hired all the damn drivers and that, they hired everyone. Oh, it's not gonna finish in time, and no one knew. Hold on, no one knew. I'm like, hold on, but bro, I remember going through there and seeing man still digging the tunnel.
Yeah.
And this was like a month from when they were meant to finish. And I'm like, this is cooked. This ain't gonna finish. But these men didn't know.
Yeah.
Man, it's all bullshit. The whole thing is a fraud, but it's done on purpose. Redistribution public funds to their brethren. Just like with C19 and the damn gas, the mass and all this stuff.
The water.
The water. Now they're nationalizing the rail companies. Yeah, after they privatized them. So the man that privatized it and took the money and ran with it, now the public is now going to come in now, have to fix up all the national rail. And that's going to be out of our tax money. And it's these rich men that took the money that's going to lend the money and get paid on the interest for it. It's bullshit.
Like, bro, that fucking Old Street Station, bro, that took.
Oh yeah.
That was getting built when brother was coming in the truth.
That's true. No, it's on the level.
Because it's all them licenses. A lot of the companies they use them licenses they have to get as an excuse. China and that, man, it's all about it's not the perfect place, but one thing about China that what they've done is it's a blend between the public and the private, where they do things for the people as well. They make sure that the people have certain things cheap, like medical, healthcare, and all that stuff. In the UK, it was supposed to be like that, but Thatcher and them just gutted everything. Right? They gutted the industries, right? They didn't really educate the people in the way that was necessary for the world that was being built. Yeah. That's why most people in the UK, they're not qualified for what the UK needs or what the world needs. It's all bullshit, man. They failed, but they didn't fail. It's a design. And the same thing's happening in America, man. The reason America's got to bring in all these H1B1 slaves is because they didn't fucking educate the American public to do the jobs that they needed.
So
on purpose.
So, and because the thing as well, over there, things are affordable in China, man. Like here in the UK, you can't go on a train, not to another part of the country.
Bro,
man.
some of them tickets, cost more than plane flights.
Yeah.
It's a fucking joke, man.
Remember, we met them 2 Chinese girls, and they were basically telling us that you can go on a high-speed rail, business class, so you got all the way leaning and shit, for like $20, man.
Bro, they build these tunnels and that, and then you got to pay a toll on the tunnel. Yeah. Those should be public works. Yeah. Those tunnels should be taxpayer funded, and you're not paying no toll.
Yeah.
But instead they're private, and then you're paying to some French firm. For the fucking toll. Well, anyway, let me go back to what we were dealing with in the beginning, man. So we could be here all day cursing out Esau's bullshit, man. So Jeremiah 31. Damn. Says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their father. By the way, this is going back to Acts 5 and 29, where it talks about to give repentance to Israel. This is the scholars, this is what the scripture they said is linked. It says, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. So not the mixed multitude. But this shall be the covenant I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts. And so does that mean them heathens they said gonna get saved? That they're not gonna, are they gonna have the law written in their inward parts? So it's not an everlasting salvation, then, is it? No. And write it in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people. Okay, so the repentance and the salvation is for Israel according to the prophecy. You know, but these guys that are coming out of the woodwork trying to save the heathens, what they're trying to do is corrupt the gospel and muddy the waters. But what they don't understand is the Lord already knows the elect. So this thing is not really, it looks like chaos from a man's point of view, because you might say to yourself, well, how are the elect going to get the truth? How do they know what the truth is? Because this man's saying this, and it's true. The world we live in is, the truth is a needle in a haystack. There's so many levels of this world, yeah? Do you believe in Islam? Do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe in the Devdas? Do you believe in the fucking Kebranigas? Like, there's a million holy books out there, yeah? A million different rabbit holes that you could go down. And then when you say you want to believe in the Bible now, you're talking about, okay, so do I be a Christian? Okay, so do I be a Baptist? Do I be a flipping fucking Catholic? Do I be a Seventh-day Disadvantage? Do I be a Jehovah Witness? And then let's say you then decide you're going to be Hebrew Israelite. You got the Israelites. Yeah, then you got flipping the different One West camps outside of One West, yeah? Like, there's so much. It's a needle in the haystack to find the truth, right? But guess what? It's all down to the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. So even though you got these guys coming into this thing now, and they're trying to add more confusion and more mud and more chaos to this thing, even in the midst of all that chaos, the elect are still going to get the truth. And that's why all we need to do is teach it.
Yep. Got something. Matthew 7 from 13, enter ye in at the straight gate. Wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. As because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
The Lord knows who's those who are his. The Lord knows the elect, so the elect are going to receive this word, period. So what these guys are doing is not going to be fruitful. You know, they're whatever evil plan that they have, whether they sold out to the Illuminati, yeah, or whatever they think they're doing, yeah, like, it's going to come to naught, and they're just going to be beaten with many stripes for what they're doing. Hakar and this other dude, Hassad, which we already knew, we weren't with these dudes. When they were all exposing Al-Azhar Bond lawyer, man already could see that these men weren't right. He's a demon, but they're his children. You know them ones, yeah. So it's like, you know, they say if Satan, what they call it, Satan, come again.
Saying because they divided.
They will be divided against these guys have never had the right spirit anyway. Hakar was never right. Hassad was, you could tell just by looking at these niggas, they weren't right, man. And the way they talking. First of all, you wouldn't want to be around this Al-Azhar guy. He was never right to begin with. Call myself the high priest. We see through that from a long time. This guy ain't no high priest, he's a demon. But they were going along with it because they were trying to make money, man. And they made a lot of money. They're influencers, man. They're Hebrew Israelite influencers. They're not prophets. They're not here to edify the people. They're here to grow their following so they can monetize their following, so they can get a bag of gal on the line, man. We know the game. That's what the world has become. Get some followers, monetize your followers, get some clout, and get a bag of gal running up and down your road, blood. That's the game. We're not here for that game. We don't give a fuck about followers, yeah, and likes, and clout, and a bag of gal. Well, I care about the bag of but we ain't here for all that bag of gal. I'm not. I go to work. I got my woman, you know, and I just do the work, man. I'm not here for the clout and so that I could get a bag of money so I could put bottles in the club and wear fitted caps and act like I'm a gangster or a rapper or whatever the hell ego I got in my mind. I'm literally just here to do this work, and we're looking for a reward which is in the kingdom. Them niggas don't.
John the Baptist said, "Bring forth fruit, meet
Meet
for
for
repentance."
repentance. From the very beginning, that whole Sakari thing, the spirit weren't right.
They called themselves Sakari.
They were, yeah, Sakari, bro. Gang, which is a gang, like
Yeah.
they weren't right to begin with. So we're not surprised that now they're trying to find some new angle to try and gain followers. Because now when they're teaching the heathen could be saved, they're making it even more universal. So now anyone can join their gang, which means more followers and more money. It's Catholicism all over. All we're seeing. This is how the Christianity began. Wicked niggas said, you know what, man? How can we universalize this thing? Because if man can get bare man to jump on this, we can get bare tithes, bare all that money.
You hear that conversation?
Yeah,
You can actually hear you. Yo.
This is the Nicolaitans, the church of the Nicolaitans. This is how the Church of Rome became what it became. It was through the lust of money and influence. They changed up the doctrine and paganized it, universalized it, so that they could make merchandise of the people. And can't you see? That's what these. Why do you think they're selling T-shirts? They're selling Hebrew names. They're selling T-shirts. Breakdowns. They're doing cookouts and events and promoting. They're doing flipping debates like it's a promotion, like it's a battle rap.
Paying for Passover.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
man. that's the
the price of garments and shit.
yeah.
Bro, you can see what's going on. So we're not. It's not surprising what these people are doing. It's just that we have to come up. When you come up against the gospel, we have to be a counter to that. We have to defend the gospel. But we're not losing sleep. Listen, if you want to follow them niggas, go follow them. Follow him. Go do that. Just know, that you're going to be destroyed in expeditiously, because the Lord's getting ready to really bring this place all the way down. And this place is actually through. All right. Any other things we're on the app?
Yeah. Yeah, it's done now.
This place is going down like a cheap ball, bro. All the way.
Let me grab this real quick. This is Luke.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Luke 12 from 47. Right? It says, and that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. But he that knew not and did commit things worthy of stripes shall be beaten with few stripes. For unto whomsoever much is given, of him shall be much required, and to whom men have committed much, of him will they ask the more.
So you can't say you don't know the breakdowns, because you know the breakdowns, right? You can't say that you didn't got given a platform. You have a platform, but you choose to serve yourself, and you're going to be destroyed for that. You niggas are serving yourselves, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's a spiritual. I always remember, I think it was basically maybe at the end of last year, the elder Yashawamba basically was like, yeah, man, I have a feeling some of these false leaders are going to start getting exposed. And that's all you've been seeing, man. This year, a lot of these leaders, these false leaders, have been being exposed, right, for what they do and they thought was secret, right? Once again, what Al-Azhar did was so mad. The fact that we don't even really talk about the fact he pimped out his wife to an Edomite.
Whoa, the man had fantasies.
Like, but it's like the fact that that one crime was so mad, you don't talk about the other mad crime. Like, it's just a madness, and he had a lot of pride, because you imagine doing all that, you don't even put a password on your phone. Like, bruh, right? And then what? You start having the IUIC teaching all of this other madness, right? You're seeing all of this universalism doctrine coming in. The Lord is exposing, right, who has been consistent. Rather, he's showing that there's one camp that's been consistent with everything all this time, man.
Yep.
Right? Not starting up with the spirit that the Lord's put on the apostles, man.
Not compromising. That's not merchandising. Selling my T-shirts. We're not, like I said, we're not influencers, man. We're not celebrities. All right, our pay gonna come in the kingdom, man. We got jobs, which is what they accused that they said we were bums.
Yeah.
But they're the ones merchandising the people. It's crazy. Anything else?
That's wonderful.
Hip. Losing circulation.
Matthew 6 and 19. Sure, it says, lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through or nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Right. So this is a labor of love, and we do it in sincerity, right? And in faith, because it was that in Hebrews, the 11th chapter, you know, it says about he that pleaseth. Yeah, yeah. So we do this thing, and the most important thing for us is to be right. But not that we're right of our own self, but whatever the Lord says is right. You know, we're not just arguing to be right even when we're wrong. That's mad. But the most important thing is that we are teaching the truth, right? And we're doing what's right in the sight of the Lord. Like everything else, followers and money and all that stuff, none of that don't matter. And the apostles have always had that spirit. The apostles don't operate on the vibration of money and clout. They operate on what's in the scriptures and what's right. That's true.
Yeah,
And that's meekness and integrity.
yeah. It's like I was gonna add, you know, whenever brothers try and like you know, highly overesteem, you know, I'm trying to phrase it well, but
gas man up.
with the apostles hate that shit, man, right? Because there are accounts in the scriptures of people who love that, and then the Lord smoked this. Yeah,
You get gassed. Yeah. Well, you end up like these niggas. Yeah. They get gassed by all the people in the comment board and all the followers that they've amassed very quickly. You know, and they think that they the man. But they don't know that as high as you flying right now, the Most High know how to humble a man. You see what happened? Listen, the Most High know how to deal with them in a different kind of way. Yep. And that's gonna happen to you dudes, you know. So, you know, with that, you know, say Kal Halal Yahweh, double honesty, apostle, elder, the great millstone.
double honors.
Honestly, brothers out there in the highways and the byways, the